Wisebot said, heavy checkmark live online under the game No Man's Sky. The uptime begin.
Hello and welcome to another day, No Man's Sky. So, just chilling here for a moment, allowing the most recent dabs to numb the senses in preparation for another day. I didn't mean to update the title number, I do believe. I need to check on that before we jump in there. So, what are you guys up to out there this morning? You guys having a pleasant Wednesday? I think today is Wednesday. Is that correct? Yeah, Wednesday, August the 10th, it seems. All right. Now this needs to be updated to
Wisebot
42.
said,
Thank you, Wisebot. All right. Well, we'll be continuing to work on our subscription goal and our follower goal. We're trying to reach 10 on the subscription side and uh, 100 on the follower side. You guys, when you watch this, any help with that would be mostly appreciated. Thank you so much. And with that, I believe we're ready to jump in and let's see what today's stream brings for us. Let's see. See if anyone we know is online. Yes, yes.
Wisebot. Said. White medium star new status. No Man's Sky Endurance episode 42.
All right. Well, we've just jumped in game with someone we know, Deed Parrot. And then,
Hey, what's up, Sol?
hey, and I just jumped in your game, I believe.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I got another guy in right now, but he's in the No Man's Sky Discord. Can he get an invite over to this one? He said he'd be happy just to join in with us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's listed in my about, but also, hang on, I think I can give a command right here to give a link. Do you have, and you may have privileges in the Discord already too, but let me just do this.
There it is. Discord. Boom. Okay, but oh, no, it does. No, Discord
Wisebot.
widget. Oh, join Discord.
Said.
There it is.
Yeah.
Join the community at https://discord.gg/6ya67dh7u.
Perfect. All right, let me go drop that over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just commenting to the stream that I was dropping into your game, and it looks like that there was some type of Wutan soup here.
Oh yeah, Quanton.
Yeah, one time it says that's the actual. That's how
Yeah.
the cue's throwing me.
Yeah, so I just added K sound. It's just, but he goes by Soup.
Yeah. Cool.
He's another streamer from Canada.
Nice.
Yeah, I decided to go looking for not anomalous, but uncharted systems today. I was a little, I'm miffed off because I've got a crash issue with fleet missions.
Oh no.
Can't get my, well, I can go in and select ships, but as soon as I select ships to go on a fleet mission, it says I don't have any fleet fuel when I've got 12,000 tons.
Yeah.
And so when I try to back out of the mission menu, every single time.
Well, I wonder if that's a new thing. I think I sent out some freighters yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a PS5. Definitely a PS5.
Well, let me go and I'll do some cross-checking, see how widespread an issue it is. See if I can duplicate it.
I really dislike these tritium asteroid markers. Oh, they get in the way. Oh, there. I'm just trying to get to this moon. See what kind of moon this is. Oh, scarlet moon, but it looks more yellow. Okay. Go ahead and pull the freighter in. If I can do what we're gonna try to name the dead parrot maneuver.
Oh yeah.
lawn darting your freighter into the. I know.
Dude, let me tell you something. I found this new way to
Wisebot.
post content on
Said.
Twitter the other day,
Yeah.
and I had sent out a whole bunch of tweets like 2 days ago, and I was real excited about it. And in my mind, what I thought I was doing was uploading this content, tweeting it, and then after the tweet, I could delete it so I wouldn't have to look at it forever and ever.
Ah.
And what was actually happening was I was tweeting them out and then deleting it, which the tweet was still there, but the content of the tweet was all gone.
Yeah, I noticed that. I saw that and I was like, huh, okay, different.
Yeah, so I felt
Sometimes
really
you're like,
good for 2 minutes about something new and then messed it up because of not, knowing how to use it. And I haven't really tweeted much since. I've been trying to regain the courage to go in there because I hate lost energy like that. When you find something new and then you think you made a whole bunch of progress and you're like, nope, all that was just an hour and a half of my
mm,
life. I'm never getting back.
I preaching to the choir right there. That's exactly what I hate that. And I mean, yesterday when I was working on my a Canon yesterday morning before you joined in and played around with it,
Yeah,
I was having to go back, refine or retune things, and I would end up crashing just because the game was like, "Whoa, you're putting too much in one spot," and it would just crash me.
yeah.
And it got to the point where I had 3 crashes in a row. I got up, turned the PlayStation off, and went out and ran errands. I was like, you know what? Heck with this. I'm out. Because I just didn't have the desire to sit there and break another controller. Not quite break a controller, but I may or may not at one time have thrown a PS3 controller across the room and shattered it.
You went Frad on it. There's a kid, Red Demons knows him. You have to ask him about him. I haven't seen him in a couple of months, but he used to come in and play No Man's Sky with me and Red Demons quite a lot. And he
Hmm.
was constantly either couldn't game on the console because it was broken, or didn't have a controller because he had broken another. Um, it was it was enough of a thing that it had a name there for a moment in time.
Oh, whoop. Did not need to fall into an underground hole. I got 5 of 6. Where's the last one? And today I'm poking around Uncharted systems, hoping to maybe find a new mechafauna that I haven't seen before.
Nice.
And I'm just waiting on patch to roll out for this latest update that they had pushed. Hoping that comes out before the weekend. Don't have my hopes up, but I'm not going to do any more building in my freighter until then because we're going to get walls that we can place.
Yeah.
And I'm really just going to do some redecorating then. Right now, I'm going to see if I can run to space. That's going to be fun. Let's see if I can do it. No, the angle is still too steep. Yeah, too steep of an angle. Can't run up the freighter today.
Nightbot.
Where is this
Said.
last creature?
Are you streaming? Turn hobby into business. Monetize your stream with Uplify. https
A little
colon
bit
slash slash
disappointed, though, in the
www.uplifeed/us/r/uzg2.
What was
the
that?
I was not quite as stoked. I mean, I just got done yesterday watching the new Obi-Wan series on Disney,
Yeah.
and while it was okay, but I gotta say, not the best. I was a little bit let down about it. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't hit me. Just didn't sit right. And I love Obi-Wan and all that. I just it was not cool. Not cool.
Well, it definitely seems like that.
They're diluting the brand.
Well, it
That's the
seems like they just
problem.
hold back. Some things. Some companies are more known for it than others. I think. Some brands they give you everything you could ever imagine and more.
Right.
Something that would come to mind would be like Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Talk about diluting a brand. But it's comics. So comics had already diluted the brand long before
Before the movie
movies.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I
many
mean,
times did Superman die? How many times did this character die and get resurrected? I mean, just like seriously, new material. Come on. I've uh, I've enjoyed the Marvel movies and some of the TV shows. I won't lie about that. I mean, there's some good ones out there that I thoroughly enjoyed, and then there were some out there that were like, okay. Not the biggest fan of the mouse
Snurman
as it is.
said,
Never have been a real big
LOLO.
Disney person.
well, hello, Sneerman. Welcome to the channel.
Snurman
Oh wow! I just found a
said,
runaway mold deposit.
Eve
It doesn't
just
look
done
like
the
it's gonna move
purge.
away because it's at the bottom of a hill.
Snurman said, now I don't know what to do.
Just did the purge. What is the purge, Sneerman?
Oh, the purge. Oh, yeah.
Sounds
That's a
like
sad.
Parrot knows.
Snurman said, the final quest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, when you go to reset that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snurman
Okay.
said, Yee.
Yeah. It was a huge decision. What did you choose, Sneerman?
Ooh.
I've had this conversation before about whether or not anyone knows anyone who walks away.
And
Snurman
when you say
said,
walks away, are you saying that it doesn't
what
go to the
were
next
the
galaxy?
options?
Yeah, that doesn't reset. When you get to the final Atlas station and you have to reset, go through.
Snurman.
That's the
Yes.
same
Said,
thing, right?
ah,
Right. Yeah. Creating. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Sounds like that might be somebody jumping in.
Yeah, looks like it. Was Soup. What's up,
Hey.
Soup?
Not much. How about you?
No, doing pretty well.
That's good.
Just trying to get in here and do a little No Man's Sky exploration. Right now, we're trying. By the
Snurman
way, Parrot,
said,
I'm sending out missions, no
it
trouble.
just reset it, cause
Of course you
otherwise
are, because
ID
it's a PS5
probably
thing,
just
and,
have to go talk
consoles
to him again.
are inferior. As much as we try to tout the benefits and praises of these things, they're
Yeah,
home to
yeah,
problems.
and that may be why every Sneerman said. I don't know if you guys are reading the chat. He says that he just reset because he figured if he didn't, he'd have to come back and talk to him again.
Yeah.
One thing I noticing for consoles between PCs, consoles can be good for gaming, but they're harder to make games for, especially with like today's security, like Microsoft security.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Because with the PC, it's a little bit more open source.
Yeah, 100%.
If I had a good PC, I would be a PC gamer. I'm running a 4 or 5 year old Microsoft Surface. That's not going to run anything. Although, did you just see the news that came out yesterday that said that No Man's Sky will now run you won't have to have a dedicated GPU.
Oh, that's sick.
They're going to run it on the new, I think it's an Intel integrated GPU, some kind of IU or something like that, or IPU, IGU or something.
Wisebot.
But they're saying it's going to run
Said.
on those archetypes, architectures now.
Okay. They have an i7. What
Snurman.
like is it like i9
Said.
above?
i3 or above.
Be right back.
Oh, interesting. Okay. See, I'm having an issue with
Sure
running
thing,
Vulkan
Snurman.
on my PC, so that's nice.
I doubt it's going to run if you've got like a, an NVIDIA, just whatever those crazy numbers are these days that are attached to
Right.
that. But I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to run at a lower quality. But still, for a lot of people who don't have the wherewithal to get into a good gaming PC, but still want to play games, I think that's fantastic. I mean, that's making it accessible and thus driving your fan base.
Right.
So, but yeah, I was reading that article yesterday. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't have a computer that even has an I anything, so I don't even know what my I is.
Well, I find myself in this weird spot with my gaming in that the best system for me to stream on isn't the best one visually for me to game on.
That makes a little bit of sense to me if I'm thinking about it the way you're intending it.
Yeah, see what happens is, I have this pretty decent gaming computer that I use for the stream because it offers some enhanced abilities in streaming. But it has to pass through my streaming PC, and there is not a 4K 120 hertz capture card to my knowledge in existence. And so that knocks my capabilities down by the time it gets to the panel to 4K 60. My Series X Xbox, because I no longer stream from it, when I started streaming, I streamed from it. Because it's going straight to the panel now, it can get the full 120 hertz that my panel can do. So, believe it or not, in my personal time, when I do game, a lot of times I game from the Xbox because it looks better.
Mm.
Now, if I was to, obviously connect the PC directly to the panel, which I've done, oh my God, it's I can't even describe it. It's so good.
Imagine if they incorporated OBS onto Xbox somehow.
Yeah.
Or something like that. That'd be nice. Cause I like streaming from my Xbox. I have a Series S, so it's not as capable as the Series X. But streaming from it is so much easier than streaming on PC. Like routing the video over is annoying. But you can't get alerts, right? Like you can't get alerts if you're streaming from Xbox unless I am missing something. But
Well, the way that I would think that people are working around that, and which I wouldn't have known about this at the time that I was doing it, is like if you go into Twitch, then you would basically activate the Twitch app, then you start your game, and like you say, there's not really alerts that I can remember. But if you've got a smartphone, you open up the stream in the Twitch app on your phone, and then you've got the chat and everything right there. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe you can even use the camera for overlay, but I never got
right.
that far into it before I started passing it through a machine.
Well, even if you could do it from like if I could just stream from my Xbox and have alerts running through my PC without me having to route the video and audio through an Xbox app to screen capture onto OBS, you know what I mean? Like over anything over that.
No, there's still some things you could do, like just offhand, thinking about Wisebot. WiseBot has a page, like I have one. Everyone that uses WiseBot should have one. That's like their Twitch page, so people can watch and chat there. And there's a notifications bar there that if you activate it, should play any notification that's set to alert through WiseBot in that spot audibly.
Okay.
And there should be other things, likewise. Um, so like um, Streamlabs, I think it is.
Yeah, I use Streamlabs.
Yeah, okay. So like Streamlabs, they have on the website there's a notifications page, and when you're streaming,
Right.
they tell you keep this page open in the background, otherwise the Streamlabs plugin doesn't know what's
Right.
happening.
Is that the widget with the weird color on it? Like,
You
is
know,
that
it's
the web
been
page with the weird colors on it, or?
it's been a lot of iterations for me ago when I used Streamlabs. I haven't used it in
Right.
a while.
Okay. See, so
But
you're
basically,
telling
where
me
you
that
go to configure the cloud bot and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've been there. Like, but
Yeah,
you're
there's a
telling me I could
notifications
go in,
tab. Now I don't
but
know what
like,
it does about audible things, but
right. But
it
you're
definitely, if
saying
I
you could
remember
have that
correctly,
open while your
tracks
stream's running, right? Like,
exactly.
is that
Have
what
it
you're
open on the
saying?
PC, and you're not streaming from the PC, but it would show you.
It would
Also,
route the alerts. Like
but
you're,
also, I mean, if that's a major hurdle, just
well,
go run the Twitch um, Stream Manager on the PC. Just have it
yeah.
open.
Well, that's the thing. See, I did that, and I was fairly certain that the alerts didn't come through when I was streaming from Xbox, but running the dashboard, stream manager stuff.
I mean, if you're
But
live, the
I'll have to
chat
test
and the
it.
activity feed should go active.
Well, that's the thing, right? I wasn't certain if I had to have it open through OBS and routing through all the alerts and stuff like that through there. But
I wouldn't think so.
right,
I mean,
see, so
everyone
that's
should
the
have
distinction
that
I'm trying
page.
to. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone should
See,
have that page. I mean, I'm not an expert by no means, but it seems like
well,
it's there for everyone. That and you just open it, and whenever your stream goes live, it should display the stream. So, for example, any plugins that you've got working,
yeah,
would be overlaid on the screen there, like the Amazon Prime one, or Blurb, or Sound
right.
one that everybody uses, things like
Well,
that. And then, like, when you're on that page, so if you got a PC available to watch that on, I mean, it seems to me like if you wanted to, for example, initiate a raid at the end of your stream, you just reach over and push the raid button. If
yeah,
you
on
want
the
to make a
dashboard.
clip or mark that,
Right.
you could just reach over and just say clip that or
You're
whatever.
saying that I don't need OBS open on the PC, that I have the dashboard Stream Deck stuff on.
I wouldn't think so if you're streaming from an Xbox through the Twitch app on the
Right.
Xbox.
As long as they work on a cloud. Okay. See, do you
Yeah,
mind if
because
I? Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Parrot, do you mind if I stream for a second or something like that and have you unfollow and follow when I have it all set up to see if it works? Like that?
Unfollowed on
Sorry?
Twitch.
Yeah, it's all good if you're busy or something. I don't mean to bother you.
No, I'm fine. I just crashed trying to build an antenna on top of my freighter. That's all. I'm back.
Oh.
But I'm not
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Yes. And of course, being that I'm up here next to 300 teleporters, it's glitchy as anyway.
Oh yeah, that will
Okay.
do it.
Let me, yeah. So you just let me know, Soup, when you're ready, and tell me what to do, and I'll do it and tell you what you need to know.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Edit stream. So can I just edit stream info on this? Yes, I can. You are making a lot more sense here as I'm seeing it. Okay, one sec.
Mm-hmm.
I should be ready here soon.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'm debating whether to
Well,
go out and try to join back on one of you because I don't think you're going to show up in my instance now.
do you mind? Okay, do you mind I might ask you to do this once or twice. Do you mind doing it at this
Wisebot.
moment and seeing
Said.
if an alert pops up at this moment? Because all I have open is the dashboard for quick actions.
Okay, so right now, I'm looking at your freighter, Dawn's End.
Right. Okay. So, do you mind trying to unfollow and then follow? And when
Okay.
there should be an alert that isn't a zombie running. It should be something else.
So unfollow, and it says unfollow. You will no longer receive notifications or see them in your followed channels list.
Yeah.
Yes, unfollow. Okay. Now, is something supposed to happen?
No, nothing is supposed to happen. Now when you follow though, it's something is supposed to happen after a couple seconds.
Okay. All right. I hit follow. Waiting a couple seconds. It's an audible alert. Hang on.
It'll be at the bottom right.
Oh, at the bottom right. Okay. I see. I see latest followers. Featured chat, DVD overlay. No, that's just on the stream. No, I get no alerts.
Okay. I'm gonna have to have Streamlabs open then. My bad.
Wait. Hang on. Let me. I thought the alert you were looking for was for you to be notified when someone followed you.
Wisebot.
Well, I'm working
Said.
that out after this. What I've been talking about since we've been talking about this is the fact that if I stream from Xbox, will my alerts route through correctly, or is it just gonna give plain zombie alerts? Because I've done that before and it didn't do it correctly. I don't want to just have normal zombie running alerts. I have alerts set up in Streamlabs that are all unique and custom. That was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Alright,
go
so
in Stream Manager. Sorry.
but I mean then
Crashed again.
So just
me.
then when you tested it, was Streamlabs running or not running?
Streamlabs was not running, so I'm going to. Are you saying I'm gonna? Oh, here, yeah. I'm gonna run my alert box and shit on Streamlabs now.
Yeah. Have it running but not streaming. And I'm I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't stream. I'm not
Yeah.
streaming on PC, so it's
Yeah.
running on my the alert box is on my PC and
Yeah,
my.
yeah.
Okay.
Because if the notifications bar using slobs, if the notifications tab on a web browser is open to the notifications page and correctly attached to that portion
Right.
of slobs, then when you're live and an event gets triggered, then you would think that that would trigger to slobs because it does to my OBS.
See, I have Streamlabs.com open. I have the dashboard /
Snurman.
alert box, so I'm in the alert box
Said.
area, and all
And
I
him
see
back.
when it comes to like launch, is a widget URL. And here I can press launch the widget URL, and that's what I was talking about with the weird colors in the background. But I can test my alerts through
Snurman.
that. Now
Said.
I'm not certain that I have to have
Cardially.
that open in order for this to come
Snurman.
through. So we can
Said.
try it. Would you be willing to try
Might
it again,
get
Parrot?
myself
I'm
some
sorry for
food.
rambling and getting you to do all this shit.
No, it's not a problem at all. I'm.
Oh yeah, and my apologies. I'm a notorious rambler myself, so.
I had to leave the system because I spawned inside of my freighter model in my ship.
Oh shit! Again, you're having problems with the builds, eh?
Oh well, after the crash, so all right. I had to just zip over to another station, main system. So just tell me when.
Snurman.
It should be good
Said.
now. I have the alert
So you
box
might be
widget
quiet
open
for
on
a
my
while.
browser. I have the dashboard open. You should get like some? It would be some dude with a flaming sword swinging across the screen.
All right.
Sounds really stupid when I explain it, but it's Dark Souls 3. You got to be there to know.
All right.
Yes, Nearman, no problem. I see you over there on the getting some food, and you might be a little quiet for a while. It's hard to type and eat. I agree.
So I unfollowed and I followed. We're about 25 seconds in, and I haven't seen anything yet.
Right.
Did you get a notifications in your slobs area?
I have not been getting any notifications.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're connected. I mean, I can't remember. It's been so long since I used slobs. I can't remember how those handshakes are all established. If you have to
I
have,
might have to literally have Slob's exe open rather than the web page, is what you're saying. So I have the activity bar there. Open.
well, yes, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, you need to have
Really?
slobs open.
So you have to have the software where you stream from on PC open in order for the software on your Xbox to register the alerts. That is
Well, hang on. That's not exactly what I'm saying. Like in this case, okay, my PC is representative of the Xbox. My alerts come from my streaming PC. Now, the only thing that your Xbox is doing that mine isn't is passing a signal through slobs or through OBS, where I'm
right.
passing my signal through OBS. And so, but whenever an event is triggered on the website, and that's where it happens, that sends a signal to my OBS. And so, like for example,
Right.
for me, for on screen overlays,
Yeah.
on screen activities like Blurb. One, there's a plugin on Twitch. There's also a source for Blurb and for things like Upify and owned 3D.
Like I have my mini feed. I have my mini feed right now.
Yeah.
And like it only shows Dead Parrot followed 20 hours ago. So
Well,
like it's not even registering in Streamlabs OBS right now.
You need me to do that again?
I don't know. It might just be the fact that it's not registering that you're a new follower.
Well,
because
yeah,
of the
there may
fact that you
be
followed before.
time things built into the system that it doesn't
Right.
count refollows within a certain amount of time for any number of things.
It might have to just be like a new follower. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I run into that now. If you've got slobs open, it does seem to me that there is a button to test follower, new subscriber.
Oh yeah. I can test widgets.
You
So
can
here,
push
let
the
me-
button in slobs to run to throw a test to the stream.
Okay. Did
So
you
so in
hear
this
that,
scenario,
Parrot?
in my mind, what you're doing is you've got a stream active from your Xbox. You've got slobs open with the notification page also open. So you have to have the web
it's got
page
the mini
open.
Feed. Well,
Huh?
I don't have the web page open, no.
Yes, you got to have the web page open. That's what sends the signal to slobs.
Oh, ew. Why would I have to do that?
Yeah, I don't know, but for whatever reason,
I'm not gonna do that. That's just too much.
well,
Like, never mind.
but that's the way slobs is designed. Not
Well,
every platform works that way.
I stream from my PC, right? And I don't have to have the web page open in order for alerts to come through. So that's just too much.
Yeah.
That's just Like the reason why I'm doing this is to lower the consumption on my PC, not to increase it.
Well, but
Yeah.
yeah, but you know that page being open, the web page isn't used too much. Like I use
Well,
a
no, I mean web pages on. See, I have extensions on Firefox. Like maybe your web pages don't take too much, but my web pages do.
all right.
Wise
You have
bot.
too much to on for too long.
Said.
They take up a lot of RAM.
Type Discord for
all right.
invite
Now,
to Soul's
so
Discord.
do you have
Wise
plugins
bot.
like that on every browser type that you have? So Chrome, Firefox, Edge, so forth.
I only use Firefox. I don't use anything else.
Okay, so then use one of the others.
No, I don't. I'm not going to
Just
use any
because
of the
they're low,
others. I'm good.
they're low resource, and if it's just the one tab open,
Firefox is the best one. Sorry, I'm just gonna stick to what I use. It's all good, man.
troubles.
Oh, there. Oh, gosh, yes. All right. Big boy. How big is he? 5 meters? 4.7. Gosh, I'm getting good at judging distance. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute that back so I don't feedback loop to you.
Oh, well, actually, do you mind? I was asking you one thing earlier. One last thing. I'm gonna test the widget.
Okay.
Do you? Okay,
Muted.
okay. Did you hear that or see that?
So far, no, but I'm waiting for the delay to pick up. Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like you have to have like yeah. Interesting. See, because I don't setting it up the other way. It's all good now. You don't have to look at it anymore. Thanks, Parrot.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to assist when possible.
Yeah, see, the difference with like slobs and OBS is slob seems to take its triggers from its notification page. OBS, you can build in alerts that are being triggered directly off of Twitch.
Well, it seems like there's no. Well, if you're on Streamlabs OBS, you're getting alerts straight from Twitch, right? And I don't need the web page open when I'm streaming on PC.
Did it
So
work?
I don't understand what that means, right? Like
Well, no. When I used slobs and I would have their software running, I would still have to have their notification page open in the
oh
background.
no, I don't. I don't need to. Like
And
that's
it
what
and
I
it
mean.
worked. It worked for you.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Like yeah, when I'm
Okay.
streaming from my PC, I don't
Okay.
need a web page open.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just going from what I remember of what Slob said was the proper way to run it. You know, I'm not
Right.
like trying to figure out workarounds for it. I just did it the way they said do it.
Right. I've stopped reading the tutorials on how to because I'm so used to running into problems on these how-tos, and these specific problems never have workarounds. So it's just like it's so annoying. It turns into joining a Discord for like 7 hours on like a Linux Discord or something, trying to figure out what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, some of it does get to be a bit of a pain. Like, you know, one of the things I would like to do, and I just haven't found a tutorial video that, you know, helps me understand it in a way that would work in the way my system is configured. Is I would like to be able to play music on stream and not record it to the VOD. And I know that, you know,
Right.
it's like VOD channel 2. But I have complication, and that the Atmos surround sound system that, you know, I'm wanting
Dolby
to
Atmos, yeah.
yeah, that I'm wanting to play is being occupied by my gaming PC. And so that means the audio is going to have to be coming from the same source as my game audio. I don't know
Right.
how to get OBS to be able to understand the difference between the two without a Go XLR.
Okay, see, I don't know. Oh, with patch cables
No, a Go
and like
XLR.
splitting. Like, what do you mean by XLR? Sorry, I'm not.
A Go XLR is a digital sound mixing board that accepts XLR microphones, but it's a digital
Right,
mixing
patched
board, so
micro.
it can
Right.
connect to multiple sources, and it has
It's
really
like a.
advanced audio
It's like an
routing
interface.
software, so you can send specific audio from one place to another.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, I have one that I like a physical one for stage mixing,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I don't. Okay. See that
Yeah,
that
yeah. A
seems to
Go
be
XLR is
sophisticated.
made specifically like for streamers, and so like you can have all these presets set into your Stream Deck if you have one, and so like you can change scene, which would trigger the Go XLR to move all of its slide because it has the auto sliding levelers and all. So like you can use one to trigger the other with scene, changes and or alerts and you know, well, anything really. So
Right.
yeah, but that's like the full size one is like 599, and then the boom and mic that they recommend to it, brings up to almost just right under $1,000, for all three pieces.
Oh yeah. See, I spent like a good, was it $800 on my setup for condensing mic and interface, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I spent a little bit too much, but I wanted to be able to also record music with it. So
yeah.
yeah.
But you can, and I don't know what instrument you're playing, but if it's an electric instrument, especially Go XLR, depending on how many lines of input it has. But I think
Right.
they're expandable too. I don't
Oh,
hold me to the hat. That's I think you can connect multiples together for
well,
more channels.
the most I get at this moment would most likely be MIDI, and maybe a way
Yeah,
to record acoustic instruments and put them in digitally
yeah,
to my
yeah,
MIDI. But yeah.
yeah. See, and see, I started messing with MIDI when I was about 12 years old. That would have been what 85, 85, 6, 7, somewhere right in there.
Right.
Um, and I haven't done it so many years now. I'm sure it would be. But anyway, yeah, the major issue for me, like from aside from just wanting to make the stream better and to be able to control the audio better, the XLR is huge, and if you're getting audio from your stream through a professional sound mixing board, then you've already gone around this problem. Is that these condenser mics, the USB ones, they pull pretty serious power off motherboard,
Yeah.
and they're
I
always
have
on.
I use a patch condensing mic because of that.
Yeah, yeah, and so like usually, well, in my case, like even when my computer is off, the microphone is still drawing power from the motherboard.
Yeah.
And these heavy condensing mics, they draw some power. So getting that off of your motherboard and onto something else that can use an XLR mic, I think.
Um Yeah, I was thinking sometime in the future of putting this interface and condensing mic away because the arm gets in the way, and possibly getting a headset because they're getting better with making headset mics. Like,
Well, yeah, they are. For me, I've gone to extraordinary lengths to be able to listen to my stream in Dolby Atmos without headphones and be able to stream and speak into the mic and to be able to hear you. Your voice is being broadcast to me in the room,
right,
and with a little luck, um, people are hearing you, but not through my mic.
right.
And so the balances are all really delicate, and sometimes
Yeah.
they'll randomly change on me, like OBS has a tendency to do. So I'm really looking forward to the day that I can afford, like say, Go XLR setup further investment into the stream once I can justify it or report it in some other.
Right. The my buddy is getting was a 1 ter. He's selling me a 1 terabyte SSD and 16 gigs of RAM for $50.
Oh
And
wow!
he's also gonna sell me a 1070 for $200. So that's not bad,
Wise
in my
bot.
opinion.
Said.
But I kind of got ripped off. I spent $1,800 on a PC when I was naive on PCs. I got it built for me for this third-party group. They ordered the parts for me, and they didn't even install a graphics card for me. Like, I have an i7 with internal GPU and like a decent power supply with 8 gigs of RAM, and that's it. Like, they kind of ripped me off.
You know, there's a lot of that. I was really nervous when I went to buy a PC because I hadn't bought one in quite a while. My last one I built before I started streaming, and I had like 5,000 in the tower. This was maybe 12 years ago now, something like that.
Okay.
But just the tower, I had like $5,000. It was water cooled when water cooling was just becoming a thing. So, you know, it had like 3 radiators on it. There was a graphics card real popular back then called a 9800, I think it was GTX. And right at the end of the run, they doubled that up, put 2 of them together, and called it a 9800 GX2. It was 2 of those cards put together. I think each one, and this was a lot back then, each one had like 2 gigs of video memory. So the 2 together would have 4. Well, I had 2 of those running in SLI. So, you know, these were the top of the line. So you know about what top of the line video cards cost.
Right.
So yeah, 2 of those in there, and the first thing I did before I ever plugged them up the first time was rip them apart to take the cooling systems out of them, to put water blocks in them. I had a 1300 watt submerged in a non-conductive liquid coolant power supply. All the internals were submerged in non-conductive goo that had a heat change on the back of it that would exchange off heat to the main water cooling system. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was. You could actually build 3 separate computers in this case, running
Right.
independently of each other.
Did you dual boot, or were you just running like one OS?
Oh yeah, I did a lot of dual booting back then. I mean, I was not an expert in any of them, but I tampered with BOS.
Hell yeah, cause with that, I'd freaking dual boot with multiple monitors on Linux, and like you'd have Kali Linux running on the one side and then Windows on the other, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I never did that expressly because I had other ways of doing that. I used KVM switches, what they were called back in the day. And so I ran 4 monitors and an overhead projector, which projected onto a 12-foot screen that was like 8 foot in front of my desk.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and so I had my own surround sound system in there because back in those days they just didn't make computer speakers that didn't pick up your cell phone signals and buzz through.
Right.
And so I had a full-on receiver with surround sound and sub and everything in there, so the computer that I built was the size of the desk at the end of the desk on the one end, and on the other side I would stack 3 other machines. And so the leftmost monitor could work with the entire main machine setup and be displaying, with the 4 and the overhead. Or I could keystroke out and switch to any one of the other 3 computers on the left monitor. And it would switch the left monitor, mouse, and keyboard all over to any one. So I was running 4 computers off of, that leftmost monitor and mouse and keyboard.
Oh, that's really cool.
There's a better way to do it today. There's this thing called, I'm running it right now. on, I'll have to go look. It's free. It's free. It's made by Microsoft. It's incredible.
Like you can bridge OSs between
mouse
each
without
other and.
mouse without borders.
Whoa. Okay, here I'll look that up.
So you can connect up to 4 machines, I think it is. That may be total. I don't know if you can purchase more devices. It may be expandable to 8.
Is it Windows 7 supported?
I mean, it's produced by. It's. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it.
Like they just recently ended support for Windows
Yeah.
7, but like they might have a legacy version that runs on it.
Maybe, but now check this. It doesn't have to be a machine in the house or on the network.
Wait, remote connection? Like
I can take this mouse and controller here that is connected to my gaming PC, and I can control up to 4 machines anywhere in the world, provided I have a way to see the monitor.
wow, so TeamViewer or something.
Something, yeah, would be similar to that, or part of maybe. But so for me, my machines are here, and so setup's real easy. You just install this tiny little thing. I mean, it's like itty bitty on both machines. You launch it on the first one. It's going to ask you if you've run it on the other one yet or not. You just tell it no. It'll tell you to go to the other one, and you run like 3 questions setup. And then it'll tell you a code to take back and put into the other one, and boom, that's it. And you can copy on one and move you tell it where the screens are oriented to for you in your space. And so like
Right.
if you're on the left one, you can copy something and move over and open up a document and paste it into a document on the other page.
You can read-write permission
Yes.
onto each drive.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
So you can
That's-
you can literally with at least some things drag and drop across. It may open up, put a folder on the desktop that says mouse without borders. But
Okay.
typically, if you drag something across and drop it, it'll throw it in there and give you a notification and pop the window up once it's moved it.
Okay. Sick. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not bad.
So this doesn't, have a way of providing you view of another machine. So you have to have a screen available. It won't switch a screen for you.
Right.
But so long as you can see the screen you want to control and you connect it to one of your devices that are available, it can be anywhere in the world.
See, that'd be an interesting thing to do then. Okay. I'd still want to do the dual booting with Linux because I want to make my own AI to give voice commands or whatever so I can play music files or media files.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Well, I
Why
mean,
isn't there something like the Google Assistant or Siri for computers?
Right.
I mean, Cortana is not.
Not good.
No.
You shit.
But seriously, I mean, our phones are so well adapted to answering all the voice commands, and they're so good at it. Why can they not port that over to your computer? I mean, I know everybody says we're all going to be on our phones forever, but some of us do things on computers, like you guys.
well, I'm sure it's this catch-22 because I just watched a video this morning. Have you noticed everyone is de-resing their logos? Pringles, I think, is a new one that's done it. Like the Pringles man, he used to have hair and details in his mustache. Now he's more or less bald and just has dots for eyes, and the mustache is just one solid color.
I see. Everybody's just oversimplifying their logos.
They're oversimplifying things. Toyota's done it. I mean, just dozens and dozens of companies that have done this because they need the maximum recognizability in the fewest amount of pixels on mobile device.
That's a very that makes sense. So that's they're catering to the small screen crowd.
Yep. Kia has done it. Dude, they listed a bunch. Volkswagen did it.
Wisebot
Well,
said,
there's one thing you never need to derez, and that's the golden arches. With instantly recognizable worldwide.
Yeah, yeah. There's no mistaking.
I discovered that. That place sucks. That place sucks. What about you? Are you here on the planet? Ooh, nice. Maybe it's paradise. Nah. Doubtful.
Somebody's buzzing.
Wisebot.
Yeah, I got the notification that you're streaming.
3 viewers,
Oh.
plus 3, alarm clock 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 20
There shouldn't be
seconds.
one going out at 1 minute. I mean, at 1 hour. I don't understand it. It's supposed to be a 2-hour notification that goes out.
Now I got a notification. Tangent is live. Huh, maybe they're just all coming through at once. I don't know. My phone is an S9, so.
Oh, so you were talking about the i7 of it all a moment ago, Soup.
Yeah.
So when I bought my first computer in quite a while, I just went up to the Best Buy. I said, I need something that I can at least upgrade. I didn't have a budget for this. And
Right.
so I basically walked out of there with a 12th generation i3 with like a 1650 graphics card, half terabyte of SSD, with I think it's a 2 terabyte regular hard drive. So you know, it wasn't anything extravagant. You know, $800.
Right.
So I used this one to kind of refamiliarize myself with things because I have some health issues. I haven't sat at a desk, haven't been able to sit at a desk or in a gaming chair in 12 years. Because, you know, so that ended my relationship with computer gaming because I was not committed enough to build a gaming environment around my needs. So
Right.
I hadn't touched a computer in basically 12 years. So I bought that one first with the idea of using it to stream because I knew that it would have the ability to produce a better quality image to my stream. You know, generally, the specs and or other items will prevent a lot of other devices. Like for example, I tried it with a Mac, all-in-one desktop, 8 gigs of RAM. You know, nothing special. But I tried using it just for the stream, and it was never able to. Couldn't do it.
Right.
And much of the software isn't designed to work on Mac anyway. So, not too long after that, you know, I had some exposure to someone with a gaming PC, a modern day gaming PC. So I decided that all of my crypto investments were in the trash can. You know, and this was before it got as bad as it did.
Right.
I still had some good profits sitting there. So I said, this downturn is going to last a couple of years probably, like the last one. And I thought, well, I can take this money and put it towards something else I can benefit from and maybe make something with it and put it back, maybe before it bounces back. So I mostly liquidated my earnings my crypto investment and use that to buy the gaming PC and some other things.
I think
So
that's a good idea.
yeah, before it drops lower, because I think it's going to drop much lower. I think it's going to come back, but it's going to be a long time. My opinion. I'm not an expert. Not
Right.
giving advice.
But you most likely do have a lot of time before it starts gaining traction again.
Yeah. I believe the global economy is in at least a 2-year downturn. Just my opinion. So I went and bought the gaming machine, which is a 12th generation i9 with the RTX 3090, which has 24 gigs of video RAM and 64 gigabyte of RAM on the motherboard. It has a 1 terabyte SSD and a 2 terabyte hard drive. The only thing I don't like about it, which is why the first one I bought, all $4,000 of it blew up in 14 days, is this too much machine and too little case.
Okay.
So I've taken the doors completely off of it and I run it completely open air. Now, in addition to that, the first one I do believe had a legit manufacturer's defect, which is not a fault of the people that sent it to me, in my opinion.
Right.
I think it was just a random thing, but it still didn't stop
Micromanaging
it
thing in manufacturing.
from being too much machine and too little case. Because
Right.
I sit 12 feet away from it, and the old one, when it, as soon as you would launch a web browser, the fans, all of them were wide open, and I'm talking we're 86 decimal. You know.
Yeah, and that's just a web page.
Yeah, that's a web page. And which was full throttle. It was full throttle. It was going
Right.
from 0 instantly to full throttle. And there was never an in between unless it just like was nothing going on except Windows running, and then it was like half throttle.
See, my PC's like 5 years old now, a little bit more than that. So I need to replace the hard drive. I have like a 2 terabyte HDD, but there's a lot of bad sectors on it, and I
Yeah.
can't repair it. But yeah, I that's why I'm getting the SSD. I think it run way smoother. You ever heard of a game called RimWorld?
It's not ringing any bells.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, I understand the whole pain with the whole PC thing. I'm trying to figure out mine too.
Well, and there's tutorials out there on like YouTube and all for everything, but it doesn't take very much for a person's setup to be quite unique.
Yeah.
And each unique thing brings its own challenge.
Yeah, unique problems. That's the problems I've been running into.
Like
That's one of the things you don't have to worry about with consoles.
Yeah. See, that's
the only time I get to praise a console, so let me.
well, and especially even PlayStation, and I've never had a PlayStation, but apparently you guys can not only hook up which one is it? An external camera, but also a microphone, like a USB microphone. Whereas an Xbox console user, you can do one but not the other.
right.
Whereas with PlayStation, it seems like I've heard you can do both, which is a
Here's
step in between, really when it comes to what we are comparing, like what quote unquote console gaming versus PC gaming, because once you got both a mic and a camera, you're getting a lot closer.
Right. Now I'll do you one. The Xbox Series X and the Series S, they support emulation now.
Oh,
So
do
you
they?
can play, yeah, you can play PS2, GameCube games. I think you can play most N64 games. uh, stuff like that. But all you have to do is buy a dev account, which is like $20.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about the dev accounts.
Right, but you can run RetroArch and shit on your Xbox now, and I mean, even so, like with modding consoles, that's been a thing I've always been an advocate for. I have a modded PS3 and I just have a bunch of old shit on it because it's the good stuff, you know.
Well, I looked for half a minute at modding consoles, which was almost as
Wisebot
long as I looked at modding
said,
smartphones.
How long?
Well, with the smartphone, I actually did for a little while use jailbroken or whatever you want to call it software on a phone or two, just to test the
Right.
waters. With console, even though I remember when it first started becoming a thing to do some really cool stuff with consoles, I stayed away from it because, well, one, I had 5 of them. I had 5 Xboxes at the high point. 3 in the living room, 1 in the kids' room, and 1 I traveled with. And I traveled a lot. So like I had daughters, so when their boyfriends, when they were dating, would come over and visit and stuff like that. While the girls were sitting in the kitchen talking about whatever the stuff they sat in there and talked about, because I hated sitting in the kitchen; it was uncomfortable. Me and whatever their guest would come over would sit in the other room and play Gears of War, each with our own screen, because I hate split screen. Each with our own console. So for every game
so you
that
LAN party shit.
yeah, basically right there, so I mean it's either sit there and think about reasons to not like these kids, or put a controller in their hand and say, hey, let's shoot some zombies,
Yeah, right.
and I hated
Well, I
split
mean,
screen, so I had to buy at least 3 copies of every game.
Did you kind of test them? Like, dude, if you're not good at this game, then I might not like you enough to be to date my daughter. Like,
Well, no,
you
not
get
so much
past this
that.
level.
Not so much that, because one, young people have a reflex advantage. I might know the game, right, but I'm getting old.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
like
you might outshine you.
like I swear, when I was in middle school, first maybe a couple years of high school, which for us started at 9th grade, 8th, 9th, 10th grade somewhere.
Right.
I could beat the original Mario Brothers in like a minute and 20 something seconds.
Oh, right on.
The original Super Mario's, you had the 8 levels, you had the warp things,
Yeah.
you go down through the
The
pots, and then
turtles
at
and
the
the
end you
crabs.
had, what was it, Bowser on the bridge. And if you knew how to, you could just run full speed through the whole game, hit the warp points and the flags the right way, and within a real short order, you're at the final boss. And if you timed it just right, you could just jump over his head, hit the flag, and just boom, game over. I can't swear to it, but I think we may have gotten down to like a minute and 19 seconds. But this has been through 3 decades. I don't remember just exactly, but I know it was under 2 minutes.
Still pretty doggone insane.
And there's no way. I've tinkered around with Mario some, and the responsiveness, how long it takes to hit a button and something happen on the screen. When you're on an actual older console, when you've been on newer consoles, there's detectable lags. Like the Ataris are horrible about it.
Yeah.
You pressing the fire button in like Defender or something, and how long it would
Right.
take for it to actually fire. Well, there's a movement and a flow. It's like shooting a moving target, whether in real life or in a game. There's a feel for it that's unique to the delay. And
Like,
for me, I think because I'm so on the spectrum, let's just say, once things speed up for me, anything that is a step backwards is torturous for me. So I've never been into the retro 8-bit stuff and all that stuff, just
Right.
because
Nightbot
I'm constantly
Said.
waiting for things to be
Are
at
you
the
streaming?
next level.
Turn hobby into
Going
business.
back is not even
Monetize your
remotely
stream
a
with Uplify.
consideration.
Well,
https
there's a couple that are novelty, though, right? Like, wouldn't you say?
www.uplifeed.us/r/uzg2.
What's that?
Like, wouldn't you say there's a couple novelties though? Like, I'd still go back and play some PS2 games, or I'll play N64 or Nintendo games. You
The
know,
games that I would go
but
back and play, no one will play me. And the reason I like to play them is because I was really good at one time. Now I'm not boasting now because I haven't touched them in years. But
oh,
like there was a time when Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, it didn't matter which Mortal
oh,
Kombat at the time, any of them that were currently out, you could have anybody you wanted and give me Scorpion, and would never given an opportunity really to touch me unless I wasn't paying attention for a moment.
right. I'm not
Um,
a fighter. I'm not a fighting game person, so
well, I'm not
I'll
either.
skip out on.
I'm not either. But that game just clicked with me back in time.
Well, okay. See, the game that clicked with me was when I had a Sega Dreamcast back in the day, and I played Soul Calibur. That's what clicked with me. But that's the only game, and I don't really play it that much. It's just more or less a fun game to play to me.
There's a game I've been trying to remember the name of for some years now. Some old timer that I knew when I was a kid had ordered this game from some special out of the country location because it wasn't anything you could just go into a store and buy here. Uh, and when I say ordered online, that's actually a misstatement, in that the internet really didn't exist then.
Wait, what year was this? 98?
Yeah. Um,
Oh yeah,
so
so you're DOS ordering?
No, I don't know. All I know is this was not a game that you could walk into any store that was in our state and buy. He ordered it through the mail in some fashion, and the internet didn't exist. How he heard of this game, because um, I don't even know, but it was
Maybe a gaming magazine?
I don't know. But
Yeah, like a Tiger
anyway,
Direct.
I worked for the guy. He owned a woodworking shop, and I built cabinets with him. And he had this game where it was like one of those turn-based games,
Okay.
and you collected generals, and you were rampaging through like the Zhang dynasty in China, and if you played straight through like nonstop, it would take like 36 hours to beat this game. And on an old Nintendo game, that was a long game.
Wow, yeah. So this is kind of like retro Mountain Blade Bannerlord or Crusader Kingdoms type shit.
So yeah, you had to go all over this map, and you had to conquer all these like low-level warlords, and you could, if I remember right, you could execute them, or some of them that were good enough, you could recruit them to be your generals. And then it was turn-based. You'd take your lineup into battle against bigger and stronger ones. So you would throw, like your turn-based stuff, your strikes, hit or miss, and they would do its damage and calculations and everything. And I can't remember ever for the life of me what that game was, but I had beaten it 2 or 3 times back in the day. But it was unique to anything that was available in my experience, except for a hardcore gamer apparently back in those days.
Yeah. Dude, there's one game I remember back that I played. My mom had a modded Xbox, so there's a bunch of games that I loved. I just can't remember what console they were for or the names of, because it was on a modded Xbox original. But there's one I remember. It's it's Godzilla, and it's a turn-based strategy where the monster comes into the city, and you have to like take your turns and you're the military, and you have to like kill the monster with your tanks and shit like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
All right, so I got a question for you. Sounds like you're into the retro gaming thing.
Yeah, I spent a
Okay,
good
so
1,000 or something on retro consoles. I have them all
okay.
locked away though.
All right, so I don't know your age, so say whatever you're free, what you're comfortable with. But at what age and what console would you consider to be the first time that you experimented with glitching your games? When
uh,
and how old and what game? You know what I mean by glitching? You can use
yeah,
a
I'm
pretty
trying
wide
to.
definition, a pretty
Yeah,
wide
yeah, yeah.
definition.
I'm trying to think of. Oh, PlayStation 2 when I was like 12ish. A Monkey Ape Escape 2.
Okay.
Wisebot. Said.
There's a movement, a way you can
Wisebot.
move in that game where
Said.
you like jump and then
Type Discord
okay,
for
there's
invite
like a
to
dive,
Discord.
so you can dodge and attack. But if you just do it and then you press and then you jump or something, I forget how to do it now, but I was doing it back in the day. You could move differently, and it was really fun doing it like that.
All right, so for me, okay, I started gaming when a game called Pong was new. Are you familiar with Pong?
Yeah.
Okay, the first gaming console came
Right.
out in 70 something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't remember glitching it, though I don't have a lot of firm memories in those years. I was quite young. But the Atari glitched several of the games on the original Atari. The one that stands out the absolute most was Pitfall, in that if you would kind of jam the game in and then reach over and take and switch the console on and off really fast, or off and on really fast, really, um, it would read incorrectly the chip in the cartridge, and it would glitch out to any number of random different maps and or things where there would be like holes that you could fall through or off one map into another zone that you normally
Oh,
wouldn't be
that's
able to get
wild.
to, and all kinds of really, really weird things. And so when we had played our games out back in the day, played them all we could play them, we would take, like I say, the machine would usually be on, and we would jam, if I remember right, jam the cartridge in it and switch it off and back on really fast. And sometimes it would take some jiggling and maneuvering, and some games were a little different than others, that what would work, order. Sometimes it would on and off more than once. But usually with enough trial and error, you could get those games to just wig out in peculiar ways. And that was the closest thing we had back in the day when you was done all you could do, turn it off and on real fast.
Um, Now, the only thing I could think of other than that Ape Escape thing is when I was in a group home when I was a kid, my buddy Jaden, I didn't do this glitch. It was with Oblivion or Skyrim, I forget which game he was playing, and he was able to take one item, he would put it in the air, and then he was able to turn it into several items, and you just see them appear out of one item. It was just like, I don't know, it would be like an explosion. That was pretty funny, but anyways.
Yeah,
Me, it
the
was
back in the day, we were just so amazed that any of this crap worked. The amazement factor with us when you were born and there was rotary telephones, and then one day you could move something on a TV screen. I mean, that was shit, dude. I mean, I'm touching something here and it's happening there. I mean, that was new for us, you know. And before that, people were born into that wasn't a thing. Um, so nowadays, nowadays it's so odd how that the conversation is switched to, oh my God, I can see a little bit of screen tearing over here. If I'm putting a lot of strain on the system. And I get it. I mean, perfectionist. I've had some issues with screen tearing that took me a while to figure out how to get rid of with this setup. But the big thing back in when I was a kid was this stuff coming into existence. And now for example, there are monkeys that play Pong with their brain. They can control paddles on the screen by thinking of it. Right? Yeah, y'all know about this, right?
Yeah, you were telling me the other day about this, but perhaps Soup hadn't heard this.
Wait. Well, I've heard of monkeys getting incentive by like being paid bananas for making the right choices, and then they make the right.
They there's research studies, see, because they don't have a portion of their brain dedicated to speech. They think that they can flash, I think it's up to like 32 characters for a fraction of a second on the screen, and they can remember like 3, 4, 5 times the number of them that humans can, and really fast. But no, so the research that they're doing with Neuralink, they're trying to get input speeds, how much data we can get from our brain into a computer and vice versa, way up if we're going to survive an AI. And so part of this was implanting a device in monkeys' skulls that recorded everything that they were doing, and what they were having them do was play video games. Pretty sure it was Pong. And so they're playing video games, and the chip is reading their brain, what they're doing when the game does what. And then at some point, the machine knew enough that they unplugged the controller from the console and plugged the Neuralink computer into the console. And the chimp had a controller that is not hooked up anything, but he's sitting there playing the game, and the input that the console is receiving is from the implant in his brain. So, the implant goes through the Neuralink computer to the console. The controller is there just so the monkey doesn't act any differently. Presumably, eventually, you'll be able to take the controller away, and he'll be able to just think it and do it.
I want to play that game in VR. Because if you're playing it in VR and the Neuralink's hooked up, then your Neuralink can be attached to your VR, and with a cap or something that can read brainwaves instead of implanting something in my skull.
Well, it would be the equivalent of going into something like, say, one of the Star Wars Force games, where you're a Jedi, then you can shoot lightning and move things with your brain, with the Force, And so you have headgear or a Neuralink that is adapted to your virtual reality Star Wars game, and so you're Vader, and you're walking through, and Obi-Wan ticks you off. You just move that huge object and squish him like a bug, and it happens.
All I'm thinking of is monkeys talking in English accents. I know it's way more complex than that, but that'd be fun.
Umbrella Academy comes to mind.
So are you guys familiar with the concept of, I think it's collective consciousness? They've been doing some research with this that kind of ties in. Purportedly, and I'm not an expert, they took a group of monkeys in, let's just say, Asia, and they gave them a test that no monkeys of their species of monkey had ever been given before, and rated their success very poor. No instruction. They just gave it to them to see if they could figure it out. After a period of time, they took the test away from those monkeys, and they moved many thousands of miles away and did it again with another group of that same species and type of monkey, in like England, I think it was. The reason I thought of this is because you said monkeys with English accents.
Okay.
This group of monkeys immediately picked up and started at a higher level of understanding there than the original group of monkeys, separated by thousands of miles and no contact. What they think is this: there's a group experiential experience that's happening, and so with members of a species or group, or maybe just life in general, when we encounter something new, originally it's just completely foreign to us. But the more of us are exposed to a new thing, eventually it speeds up to the point to where you have like early adopters, mid adopters, late adopters. Eventually it gets to the point where people just see it and know what it is. And it's
Right.
because of the group conscious awareness that they think possibly exists that they're trying to test with these monkeys.
So kind of like a sort of a
Wisebot.
psychic connection in
Said.
the subconscious.
Well, it could be described in a number of ways, I think, in my
Like
opinion. I
hive
mean, Einstein
hive
and
mind.
Tesla were known for going into meditative states, and they both, in their time, seemed to believe, at least in part, in something called the ether, um, which is like some cosmic knowledge bank of information. So, like,
Stream of
it wouldn't even
consciousness.
necessarily be limited to the species on this planet.
Well,
Um, if
y-
you
y-
from a certain perspective, you could access a universal knowledge according to like Einstein. I don't know exactly which one, if it was relativity or if it was some equation to do with it wasn't really with nuclear bomb, but he hardly ever slept, but he would do these short meditative states where he would go into these you know conditions and then just come out of them knowing things. Really weird.
have you ever heard of the drug called DMT?
Have heard of it, yes.
Okay, so whenever somebody takes a drug like DMT, it's known to be so strong as a hallucinogenic. They all have this trip, and it seems to be the same experience where the trip tells them that they're all connected. And I don't necessarily want to get into what else they see because it's weird, but
Well, let's just say all the psychedelics seem to have this in common to
right,
varying degree.
yeah, the psychic. So yeah, that's an interesting thing, and I think it's like a stream of consciousness type of thing. Like we're all connected within the stream of consciousness. Like maybe it's what people would call our quote unquote soul. I don't
Yeah.
know, in some spiritual way. Even though like I'm not trying to say, oh, I like gemstones, and I think there's something to do
Yeah.
with yeah, like
Yeah.
that's stupid. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Well,
spiritually.
well, no, I mean, a lot of things seem absurd that are not absurd. For example,
Well,
let me give an
I'm
example.
not
I'm
gonna
going to float
rely
in
on
space
gemstones, you know.
and talk some crap. I hope
Okay.
somebody enjoys it. There's 8 people out there right now. Most of those are probably bots. But anyway, um, for example, I want to take and say a statement, and then let's see how well it resonates with you. And if you've ever had experience with um, a psychedelic, then you may relate this really quickly. But computers are taking lightning and cramming it into rocks until the rocks can think. Now,
That was a great silence, but I need more information. Say what again?
computers, microchips, right? The way that, we use
I
digital
see.
data and technology, computers, is taking lightning and cramming it into rocks until the
Okay,
rocks can think.
you're right. It's true. When you look at it, the base elements, you're right. We're taking electrons and throwing them through silicon.
Well, not just silicon, many other rare earth elements, each for specific purposes. Well, titanium and platinum and gold and silver and all these other things don't just come out of the ground as, titanium alloy. They come out of the ground as ore, rocks. They come out of the ground as rocks. Now we refine it a bunch of times, but it's rocks. We call it something
Yeah.
else in our everyday life, but it's rocks. Whether you take sand and you heat it up and make glass, it's tiny rocks. Because sand is rocks broken down into tinier rocks. Whether it's malleable steel or lead, or malleable like gold, or rigid like steel or titanium, it's just different levels of refinement of different types of rocks. And we're cascading this lightning, electricity, through different capacitors and resistors, and we're amplifying this and attuning that in all in order to produce an image that you're seeing on your screen, which is the controlled explosion of lightning through rocks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that in a way that is exactly 100% what it
Yes.
is. It's just when you put it into those terms, it sounds absurd.
So, like for me, I'm watching on an OLED. That's an organic light emitting diode.
Which is crazy in and of itself when you get right down to it. It's
Yeah.
organic.
And that is organic, which separates it from just like, say, LEDs, right?
That's
Different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that biotechnology will eventually merge
Nano
those
machines,
things.
son.
Yeah.
But I think that living screens could be a thing.
Well, so much. I mean, they now have these contacts that can project a VR image into your eyes. They have their own power source built in,
Yeah, have you
micro
seen those things where
micro
that guy?
medical
Did
batteries.
you see the microchip eye guy?
Man, there's so much out there these days, and so the thing that we were talking about, the shared consciousness or the way to look at it and all this stuff. Well, the way I've gotten close to, and maybe it's a hope more than anything else, hope that it works, because everything else I've heard is some type of torturous ordeal at some point. At some point, every religion I've run up against, if you follow out, where they say it goes, at some point it either gets really boring, really monotonous, really bad, depending on how it ends up for you. And so I've kind of come up with this thing that, I like to think of it as like wherever we come from, we're all part of one universal being, consciousness, source of knowledge, awareness. And from time to time, we dip into and have a physical based experience. And while we're here, the illusion is that we're separate and individual. But the reality is others are just a reflection of ourselves. The people we really like, they reflect back the parts of ourselves that we like most or would like to be like. And people we hate most reflect back the things we dislike about ourselves or the things that we really don't want to be. But the reality is, it's like a drop of rain that condenses out of a cloud. We're falling through open space, thinking that we're individual being having an individual experience. But once we land in the ocean or the river or the stream, we quickly rejoin the group experience and move on. And perhaps someday we'll evaporate and condense out of another cloud into another experiential reality. But who knows? But of all the possible things, this is the one that sounds the least bad.
I know this is unrelated, and I'm sorry for asking, but
Yeah.
what Gears of War do you play a lot? Do you play Gears of War 3 at all? Like with the Horde?
I played 3 when 3 was big. I really enjoyed 3. For me, horde mode is what I enjoy most because I live in the
Yes.
country. and my
Yeah.
reflexes are such that PvP doesn't work out for me very much. And
Yeah, I'm
so,
a horde guy.
yeah, so Gears 4 Horde, I have taken upon myself many times to try to beat all 50 waves solo. I have succeeded a handful of times. And obviously, with other people, it becomes much more achievable and manageable on increasing levels of difficulty.
Um, I could possibly download it maybe if you'd like to play it sometime. I played it before at Gears of War 4.
Yeah, 4 is to me, it's the most like in the vein of what it originally was before it got insane with 5. Horde
Yeah, I
mode in
didn't even
5
touch
is
5.
somewhat different, and you know, it's gone through different iterations. I mean, I started playing Gears of War with the original Gears of War, so I've played through all the campaigns and I've played all the modes,
Right.
but you know, I played Horde and Gears 3 for
Wisebot.
quite a while, and I
Said.
stuck with 4
Like to
after
play slots?
um,
Type slots to
everybody else
receive a
went on to
link
5.
to spend your channel points. Wisebot.
I
Said.
got the announcement from my.
Well, I didn't like how Gears of War 5. See, I didn't play them when they came out, but I played them through with a couple of buddies on co-op when I got them, and I didn't even try with 5 because the way they released it and stuff like that just didn't feel right. So I stuck with 4, and yeah. I
Yeah,
played a bit
yeah.
of the horde mode, but the robots are just kind of different to me. I don't know. I have to get used to them.
Yeah, I've got 4, and you know, I'm just tinkering around here. If you do, you have 4 downloaded?
I do not at the moment, but I will download it. I am sorry for that. It's just Series S only has like
So
200
much
something
space.
gigabyte. Yeah.
So
I
you play No Man's Sky on Series S?
yeah, I play it on Series S. I also have externals, so, but yeah.
How's that work for you?
It's good. Like really test my boundaries because I have an activated India mine that it has. You saw it, Dad Parrot, so you can see, but it does crash my game. So my game does crash. It's just it depends what. Like if
All right.
I'm around your SRT cannons with the friggin' 150 SRTs in one spot, then it will likely crash.
All right. So like here's what I've noticed, and it's a potential that I just, you know, I put too much on that Series S that I have. When I started gaming it, you know, I probably threw a lot of stuff at it, but I haven't used it much in a while. And the other day I was forced to do some things with it, and so I loaded up my wife's save for No Man's Sky to help me move some stuff from one game save to another. And so
Right.
I pick up my controller on my Xbox Series X, and the responsiveness is very similar to what I'm accustomed to on the PC. So, like on my screen right now, I don't know if you can see it. Like when you're in your inventory and you're moving your thumbstick around, because even though I game on PC, I still play with a controller because I have some health issues that won't allow me to sit at a desk in a normal place for a mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard's not currently an option. So, like picking this up and moving it over here in your inventory, just moving things in on the Series S and multiplayer was noticeably difficult in that the responsiveness was delayed for me for some reason. And I don't know if it's just Series S trying to keep up with No Man's Sky, or if there's something wrong with that Series S.
I don't notice lag with my inputs. Here, let me go into it right now. Let me because I was in the store. I might have to cloud play Gears of War, but that's fine. I have like a gigabyte download, so.
Oh yeah. Well, here, that's what I was going to say a minute ago. Let me
Yeah, no
look
delay.
and just see. I'll have to exit my game to. Oh,
I'm getting practically no delay here, but that's just me.
like I say, maybe it's just that console. I can't think, what could have caused it to act out.
I
But I've
do
been having
also
the
have
worst luck
this.
with electronics lately.
Well, I do also have it in performance mode too in the game, so I don't know if that makes a difference. But
Well, and there was one patch too, I think in particular. I remember when, and like after one of the patches, I guess it was when the Xbox One X lost its ability, maybe for multiplayer on No Man's Sky. Because I seem to remember multiplayer working on the One S and X, and then all of a sudden not.
right.
Um, and I'm almost positive I've seen circumstances where the after a patch for a short period of time, the Series S even, I think, maybe lost multiplayer capability. So I think it's something that they add in and lock out sometimes, depending on how well a patch or a major update is pushing a system. If it's pushing a system really hard to run in, solo single player mode, it seems like they're sometimes going back after the fact and at least temporarily, you know, locking them out of multiplayer.
Right. Okay. See, I do have connection issues sometimes, but I think that just might be a port routing issue with me.
I
But
had connection issues more on console. I'm not going to say they don't happen with PC. For me, I can always tell with No Man's Sky if I want to have an issue. If I go to the multiplayer tab and go to look at my friend code, if my on console, if my friend code will display, usually I don't have any trouble joining or having other people join me.
oh,
If
okay.
my friend code will not display, people's games won't show up
I
and people won't jump into my game, it seems.
Right. See, that's the issue. See, usually to reset that for me, I have to load in solo, make a save in solo, and then hop out again to check games to join.
For
And that,
me, what I would have to do is hard reset the Series S. I'd have to hold the power button for like 30 seconds off
man, yeah, that's wild.
because
Okay.
you could try just turning it off, turn it back on. The Series S a lot of times doesn't fully reboot unless you completely unplug it or hold the button or both. And so when I was playing and I was streaming for a while from the Series S because I would stream from my Series S at the time because I wanted the Series X on the 120 hertz and all from uh the main thing. And
Right.
so yeah, that was what I would have to do. And I'd have people jump into my stream and wanting to get in the game, and I would go and check. And if my No Man's Sky friend code wasn't showing up after multiple other trying to troubleshoot it multiple ways previous times, I learned that yeah, just long press the power button, do the reset, power it back up, go into the game, and usually it's okay. If it's not okay,
Man,
then it's a legit network problem that multiplayer's taking a hit, on the server side.
man, yeah, that's way more elaborate than what I have to do. That sucks, dude.
I haven't had to do it in a long time because, like I say, I switched from streaming from it to the. Yeah, it looks like I've got
Right.
Gears 4 up there. I may have ran off my few viewers I had with going to look.
Here, let me see if I can cloud play because I am using gold from another account.
Yeah, I haven't played. I've only ever streamed Gears 4 one time. And that day was the day I met a streamer, gamer called I'm Friends With. And Brad Bob, I think, was jumping in game with me. And I had started out Horde uh, by myself. And Frad had to download the game. Well, in comes this gamer I'd never seen before, I'm friends with. And he apparently has modded the game because, like, the map that I like to play, which is Blood Drive, I'll sit at the top up there and defend that top room as a kind of a last ditch holdout spot. And I could be at the very top of those steps and see him on the left hand side of the screen, and I'll be shooting enemies around him and catch the enemy out of the locust out of the corner of my eye on the other side of the screen. And at the time that me at the top of the steps can aim from one side of the screen to the other, he's run across the screen, killed two other guys, and butchered that guy too.
Jeez,
It was insane. Yeah, that he had his movement modifiers and all turned up. His reloads were faster, his movements was faster. I mean, everything. And I'm like, just even a
Wise
quarter
bot.
of that speed would be amazing in
Said.
this game. But the speed that he's playing with was just ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to. I'm uninstalling some games and I'm installing Gears of War. It's 100 gigs though, so it's gonna take a bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, it won't let me cloud play because
Well,
I'm using another account for Ultimate right
maybe
now.
maybe on another day then, when it's downloaded.
Yeah,
I'll invite you if you want to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. I don't have a link to my Xbox account. I don't think posted anywhere because the Xbox account is weird. As far as like
right.
sharing a link, but it displays. A person can just input it
Yeah,
to hunt me down for a friend request on for Gears of War game. Of course, that's not really needed for something like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, you
right.
got a friend code, you're in there, pretty good.
Yeah. The for my streams, I have so you know how you can put in your about panels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I have my friend code and my gamer tag in there, and that's pretty useful. All I have to do is say, "Oh, check down there if you want to add me up." Blah blah blah.
Well, see, I experimented with my Xbox gamer tag thing, but the way that I always would input it in the places I was trying to put it, it never displayed in a way that I felt like people was finding me.
Right.
But it's not like dropping your at whatever for Twitter or your Twitch page. It's just web address. But the Xbox one, not only that, it's a lot of things. I mean, it's linked to a lot of my stuff here, but I don't know how discoverable it is. But yeah, mine is Soul Invictus number 130.
This the system. That one.
Are you still hunting there, Parrot?
Oh, I'm just bopping around a bunch of uncharted systems. They're
So
a
this
lot
one,
faster for me to go through because I don't have to go hunt all the ships.
Right.
so the Uncharted systems, they don't have space stations, right?
Yeah.
So what's your fascination with them, other than that they don't have space stations? That most people don't happen across them very often because of that.
No, the fascination is it's the uncharted systems are the only systems where you'll find mechanical fauna.
Mechanical fauna. So I have a pet that is mechanical. I must have been unknowingly in one of those systems then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's Oh, there's one for my activated India mine.
So, question. What would happen if you search for megafauna in an uncharted system?
Um,
Is there a
so
chance it could be a mechanical megafauna?
Mechanical.
as far as mechanical fauna goes, there's not a lot of min maxing on those. There's some, but not a lot. So typically they all range somewhere in the let's see. Yeah, so we've got them from like nearly 2 meters down to sub 1 meter, but nothing,
Yeah,
enormous.
yeah, but you're talking about on the planet. I'm talking about searching like you search for living freighters, megafauna in space with an anomaly detector in an uncharted system. Is it possible you could get a mechanical megafauna living freighter?
Oh, no, no.
Are we sure they
There
hadn't
are
thought of
no,
this?
there are only the only mech creatures in the game are the four-legged
Planetary ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool
Or
if
that,
they introduced
or
mechanical living
that,
frigates.
or nobody's looked for it yet.
No.
It'd be in the patch.
100%.
It'd be in release notes somewhere if they had done it.
Oh yeah, they would have crowed about that. They would have crowed about that. That would have been a big thing because I'll be honest, I'm not going to get a living frigate. I do not like them.
No.
No, I can't stand them. I don't like the organic look of living ships or living frigates. I just don't like them. They disgust me, and they just evoke a response that is disgust.
I
I
feel you.
love mechanical fauna because, yay! I've got a C-3PO dog or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
and I think those are kind of cool because the roboticness to them. And I mean, this is a game that's got quite a lot of robots in it.
Well, hang on a second. If you like those, I'll show you my mechanical guy, and if you like it, I could try to get him to produce an egg.
Well, here's the thing. So I have. I was just telling. Soup earlier. I practically discovered 68, which would make it 136 different mechafauna already in No Man's High space.
Well, I'm not talking about megafauna. I'm talking about the mechanical companion.
Oh, okay. So you think I'm saying MEGA, but I'm saying MECHA.
Okay, mecha. I got you.
Yep.
Well,
So
I was,
that's
yeah,
why
and I've been saying both. I've been saying, mechanical, and I was discussing the possibility of mechanical megafauna also, but
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we're Southern. We kind of tend to
yeah.
run those parts of words together. It's fine. I get that. I just but as far as the mechs go,
That's one of them.
actually trying to find bigger or smaller ones. Oh yeah, I just found a planet with 2 of those.
Yeah, did it have fire on it? The one I found them on, my starship caught on fire.
Yeah, yeah. That planet was in that system. Yep, there were 2 of those there. Now, here's a fun fact. You can find these on a planet like this in an uncharted system.
So I think this guy here was the result of a gene splicing thing I did.
Yeah, that purple tells me you tried to mess with the color because they only come out white or purple.
Yeah, and this one is the original one I found on Planet. This is the original guy here, Munson. He's smaller. See, this one's smaller. And just ever so subtly different. Quiet and excited. Temperament's way different.
To me, are the fastest land creatures.
Now hang on, we'll race.
Yeah, those things are like, to me, they are the fastest little land creatures out there.
Come on, dude. Oh, he's eating.
Oh, he is happy. They
Dude,
used to flip right through anything, but yeah, these little boogers can go.
One of us got a boost. Oh, I ain't gonna jump. Man, it'd be awesome if he had a boost button.
Oh yeah. Well, you can hit sprint.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You
Oh
sprint
yeah.
button and he'll take off
Yeah.
running.
Yeah, we're boogieing now.
Now, this sucker's move.
Jump just throws you off of him though. Yeah, he's a fat. Yeah, that's.
My favorite ones are the naked back, curved head models.
Oh, I don't have a naked back, but it has like an umbrella
Oh
type
yeah.
thing in the back.
Wow, this guy I'm pretty sure is faster than my exocraft. Much faster. Seriously, and I can scan while riding. Because, that's my gripe about trying to take an exocraft most of the time to track down, like, say, resources. Is that if they're a long ways off, you can't scan from inside. Whereas this, you can just, like, here, I'll look. No hotspot. Oh, right there. There's a hotspot this way, 293, 300. So I can steer him right from here. I can't make him sprint from there, but now he is.
Here, I'm joining you guys, and I'll show you the mechanical pet I got. Maybe you like it.
Oh yeah, dude, this is magic for running down stuff. Then you get to the end and you can't steer.
Yeah, see, so that's the thing. I like the hotspots, but you can't do buried tech modules or ancient bones because they don't pop up on your scanner when you're on those.
Well, yeah, but I only look for those when I'm hunting for those.
Well,
But
yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing. I was just thinking of all the incentives of like the reason why you would use a pet, and that was knocked off the list, unfortunately.
Well, but say like right yonder, say that cadmium deposit. Is there buried technology here? So I want to do a couple of things. Test. Well, it should work with any of them. So I'm just going to take that hexabarium, tagged it, and where'd my pet go? Dude,
RUNNOFT.
he did run off. There he is. Wait, dude, slow down. All right. All right, so I caught him. All right, so not only have I got it, so I got it tagged. Can I get? I'm in the bushes. Hard to tell. Oh wait, there it is. Think. And then also I can use. I don't have to use that scanner. I can look for other things. So like there's the hexaberry.
Check this
So
out.
it should technically work. So yonder is the cadmium. So you'll be able to run down anything you want. Just have it in the proper scanner mode.
Yeah,
Because you can switch scanner mode while in here. So you could, periodically check for a hotspot, and then just, if there's not one, then switch back over and look for other things. And those hotspots aren't close together. If there's not one detected, it's going to be quite a ride. So you switch over and look for buried modules and whatnot while you get out of that zone, and then periodically just check back to see if you've pinged one. If it's a class you're looking for, A, B, C, or S, or whatever. I think it's better usable than the exocraft for that, my opinion. Now, if you got to scan for something, obviously, like the scanner. So like,
right. Well, yeah, it's good for hotspots. Yeah, see, that's the only use I saw it for hotspots.
Well, no, it's not just that. Like, right yonder is the hexaberry. So if there was buried technology module here, or even if there was storm crystal, I could see it here, mark it, and be able to ride and view it on the way with the pet.
But only with things that you can see visually, right? You can't scan for tech modules when you're on it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at yesterday. So is that they don't show up if they're underground. So bones and tech modules and
right. But if you see storm crystals, then yeah, that works too. It's unfortunate that they just don't pop up. I think it's just something to do with the rendering, since if you're on foot, it renders differently. I don't know.
All right. Well, hang on. Let me go to another planet because, like I say, this one is not a great test for like the technology modules because there are none here. No, I'm not seeing any here.
Right.
Regardless.
Like I went to a high radio source planet, even, and that's where I usually grab tech modules. And whether or not that affects it, there are tech modules there, and I was unable to see any when I was on my test.
Yeah, because I'm curious because you know, like obviously, if I'm looking for an ancient structure or something like that, I'll just call it an exocraft, you know, or you know, use their ship scanner or something like that. But
Sure.
buried technology modules, I would like to test somewhere where it has it myself.
See, I
that's
would
curious.
use my right. See, this wouldn't be an issue if you could just hold LT in the Nomad and look for tech modules that way. But
Yeah. Or the Minotaur, you know, or something else, because
right.
I don't see those. I never see those in any exocraft. Specifically, the buried technology modules, right?
Yes. Same with like
You always have to
bones.
get out, and you can mark it. Now, if you mark a module,
Right.
you can get in an exocraft to go to it, but you
That's
can't see them from within it.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's the tediousness to me. See, I don't like the idea of getting out of it.
In and out of it.
That's grumpiness of me. I'm just grumpy, but
that's why I hardly ever use exocraft. If I use an exocraft, I call it in for its scanner, find what it is I'm looking for, and then I go to it other ways. Usually.
Right.
Usually.
Dude, how about this? Can you scan for settlements in Sentinel pillars now? With the exocrafts?
Nah, you still gotta use
check.
Okay. Because I still use charts for everything.
Yeah.
I don't even touch the exocraft scans.
I only use the exocraft scanner when it's usually expeditions that require me to go do something that I wouldn't ordinarily do anymore, like
Right.
find a drowned starship.
Right. Like if it's a new save, that's a real good shortcut because you likely wouldn't have a stockpile of charts, right?
Right.
Well, see, hang on, let me see how many charts am I carrying right now.
Yes.
I see, I've got 11 planetary charts for secure sites of interest, 9 for inhabited outposts, 13 for distress signals, 6 sentinel boundary markers, 4 settlement charts, and 1 ancient artifact site. But when I go jumping through galaxy centers, I'll get a whole bunch for finding monoliths, get me to portals.
Right.
And what I noticed was the time-consuming part in everybody's tutorials was they would use a chart, and if it wasn't what they were looking for, like a monolith, they'd have to go to that place to get that to disarm, stay near it so it didn't find it a second time, and then launch another chart. And I'm like, dude, it just takes forever because it might not even be on your planet, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And so what I discovered was the way these things select for their position is based on the slot they're in. So if I have all 6 of my sentinel boundary markers, which I think I only found those, would only find those maybe, then they're each just going to find the one thing. So I'll grab another.
Well, I noticed for me, when I activate the chart, I can activate it again and again without moving, and it'll still activate different things. Sometimes. Like sometimes though, it will do. Like, okay, so let me reiterate. Most of the time, it does that.
All right,
Now,
but I can tell you how to never go to a part to deactivate it again. On my screen, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see my screen. I took several planetary charts and I dropped them out into 4 different cargo slots in my general inventory. I actually did it in my freighter for some reason. Didn't mean to do that. I was stacking them and moving them to Exos. And so I'm going to put them physically, the stacks, in more than one slot, because what happens is this slot is already, if you can see, is already predetermined that the next one will find, let's just say, it says a
Industrial.
distress signal. So let's say that is a downed fighter instead of a crashed freighter.
Okay.
And let's say you're looking for the other one, right? Well, that slot has already been predetermined when you select it. And so if the next one is predetermined for the same thing, when you hit it, nothing will happen. And this is actually, much easier with like the monolith one, because, there's several things that it will find with the monolith chart. But by setting them in several spots, this one has one pre-selection. The one that's at the top in the next port may have a different pre-selection. The one that's at the top in the next cargo slot will have a different selection. And so if the next one you hit X on to plot route is the same as the one before, the worst thing that's going to happen is it just won't launch. And so you just drop over to the one next to it and launch it, because most likely there are not 3 of them in a row going to be pre-selected for the same, thing it's trying to locate. And so you can
Now-
launch several of them back to back to back.
I have a question then.
Yes.
Do you have to have it in your generals tabs to have this work, or can it be?
Oh,
in
no,
whatever?
no. I just, for whatever reason, when I was moving it out of my cargo, my cargo slot, I kept going to freighter for some reason, and I couldn't demonstrate in my cargo slot because my cargo slot is full. So like right
Right.
here, the ancient artifacts, that'll find a monolith, correct? Well, I only got one. But they're secure sites
Right.
of interest. I'll actually demonstrate. I'll lay these out. It should not matter so long as it's a slot they will activate from. So like this one, I'll activate. So I'll activate one. Can't use in this location. Maybe it's because it's on my freighter. And I know it'll launch from the exosuit. I just don't usually have a lot of open space in the exosuit to spread it out. So like, wait, it's claiming interference.
Yeah, that's something that's started happening. I've seen lately with.
I've
even
seen
with,
anomaly detectors do that, but only when it had already locked onto something. Let's try a different detector type. Can't use planetary settlement. Yeah, I don't think any of them are activated. Wait, we're in a uncharted system.
right. Oh, well, that explains it.
That explains it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, in theory, it should work in any cargo inventory slot that you have room to spread it out. So if it will
Right,
activate there normally, then this should work in that cargo type. You just, I needed somewhere else to spread. So if it will normally activate from your freighter inventory or exosuit or whatever, it should work. We're just in a unique place here. So like for me, the signal booster, like, I use it a lot for the monolith. So like you run it, what I hear.
And of course, there wouldn't be any on the planet because
Didn't hit one.
it's uncharted.
So scanners don't work here either.
No, because you can't find an alien monolith to get a portal in an uncharted system.
But there's
Good
a
to know.
portal there. Somebody's found a portal over there, luckily. I guess because you came here by address. Came here by portal address.
No.
No?
Yep.
Well, I got a portal marked on my screen.
I always get a portal mark
Whoa.
on my screen when I join multiplayer now.
Ah.
This is Euclid, right? Okay, so why don't we just get the glyph recorded and then just teleport here and see where we teleport to?
That's what I do to find them now. Is I just get the address, go back home to my main portal, and voila.
That's a big old
Yeah.
creature.
I'll do that. Well, wait, you guys already have the portal base for this planet, right?
Yeah, there's one on the screen. I can see it.
Okay. So we don't need to do that here.
See this little? You see this little dude down here? This is like the tiniest little blobby. He's so cute because he's wearing a backpack.
Oh.
But anyway, I think we satisfied our curiosity about how that would work with the charts. I don't think we need to move to another system. The reason it's not working here is because it's a charter.
I've
Agreed.
never seen him do a flip. Yeah, I like this because he's got arms.
It's like Grogu, but the slug version.
Yeah, it's kind of like Grogu mixed with a hook.
Yeah. Hank, chill out, dude. I don't take you out.
He's natural. All of my, except for my butterfly and my first T-Rex, are natural sized. I don't down them.
Right. I haven't messed with any of that yet. I might not even. Like, the only have sack face.
Look at my extinct balloon. I even adopted it, and it's extinct.
Oh wow, okay. So that's like the rare one from that planet you were talking about.
Yup, that's the one. I adopted it just because I had to. This is
It bleeds blood out of its anus, yeah.
now
that-
this T-Rex is all natural. One of the biggest in the entire game that's been found.
Oh, that's sick.
How big
And
is it?
dances.
Biggest?
I'm gonna go confirm on the wiki, but
Here, I have one that looks like a triceratops with some wings, but
yeah, it's tied for largest ever found. Yes.
How? What's the size and weight of it?
He's 4.3 meters tall.
But it's a
And-
T-Rex specifically, so there's larger other creatures.
Oh yeah, but as far as T-Rexes go, 4.3 meters is the largest ever documented.
Yeah, see, I've got a creature here that's, kind of half insectoid, half dinosaur. It's got like a pointy head, like that mechanized pet with like an insectoid butt.
Yep. And a
It's
stomach
5
with
point-
the scoop face and the
Yeah.
ant butt.
Yeah. It's like 5.5 meters.
The largest one of those is the largest one ever found of those is 8.4 meters.
Wow.
I found an 8.3 meter one. It's the largest I've ever found, though.
So, Parrot, I don't know if we've ever gotten into this, and you don't have to be terribly, specific, but have I asked or have you said what it is that you do? Because, I notice you almost always on the Discord.
I am living the life of a kept husband right now.
Ah, ditto. Yeah. That's a good place to be, my friend.
And no, I got a very, very generous severance package when my last company very stupidly disbanded my whole department. So I am taking care of the house while the wife's at the hospital working.
Well, mine was a different scenario. I actually was the main breadwinner in my family for a long time. So my wife, started working when the kids got older. but through, I guess, age and injury and other things, I found myself disabled. So I used to draw disability, but with the new administration, apparently, right after all the pay increases they gave everybody, they kicked a bunch of us off the rolls. Last year, Social Security benefits, got the largest cost of living increase and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I'll get back into things in a bit, but right now, the wife said she would rather have me here, taking care of the senior animal home, and nobody being here with them.
well, it's ironic that I think it's a trend that I think that women have felt like, and I'm not trying to cast any, I'm casting a wide net here, figuratively. A lot of women seem to have the feeling that they have been alone in raising their children, and their husbands may be great providers and all these other things, but comes sometimes I think the cost of not feeling like you have a partner in life as much as you'd like. And it seems like more and more, especially now that women are earning better and better, multiple. A lot of women are just choosing to have their guys not work to, be able to see them and be around them sometimes.
I was
I have a daughter who has made that choice. She met a guy. He was working at a, I guess you could say, his thing that he did for money and support himself. But he actually decided, coming out of one relationship, decided she wanted him to potentially not work, be around more, just for that reason.
I'm in that boat. I was gone 46 weeks usually out of the year, and that's overboard. And I mean, sure, I could bring her along on some nice trips here and there, but it's not the same as being at home. So right now, we're actually getting to be a married couple instead of something on paper and she picks me up from the airport.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've traveled for work in numerous ways, jobs that me in all hours of the day or night. Had jobs where I, would leave for work at 5 in the morning, going down to Atlanta because that's the only way you could get there before 10 in the morning if traffic had.
Ain't that the truth?
So the option was to show up to work an hour and a half early and sit in the parking lot, or not, maybe show up sometimes till almost noon. And then that particular job, I was repairing a lot of point of sale computerized cash register systems for businesses, restaurants, things like that. And so those older systems that we were trying to phase out their network was daisy chain based. Are you familiar with daisy chain networks? Old enough?
I know the concept, but
Well,
no experience.
Well, daisy chain networks had to have protocol boxes. And most of the time the machines would not communicate in the same languages externally. And so you had to have all these protocol boxes around, and where there's a center hub with like Ethernet or something, generally, even though there may be several hubs, generally everything comes back to a center hub. With daisy chain, you've got like, the main computer that comes off to a protocol box. Then that protocol box will jump from one device to the next device, whether it's a printer, a register, a cash box, whatever, a screen. Because like in a restaurant, you'll be displaying all the orders on an order screen, and you got to be able to bump those. So all these things have to have protocol boxes, and they all work off of these daisy chain systems. jump from one to the other. So you save a lot of cable. The
Yep.
old EPROMs and things like that in these systems were very touchy to a certain type of energy, and that was static electricity. Particularly static electricity if it was, say, thunderstorm 25 miles away, a good lightning bolt 25 miles away that wouldn't hurt anything else, would fry, you know, an EEPROM or something like that, some other chip in one of these devices in that daisy chain network, and the only resolution was to drop everything and drive out to, say, Montgomery or Mobile or Tuscaloosa or Dallas, Fort Worth or Austin or wherever, or fly if you got out that far. Fly out there with about 80 pounds worth of soldering equipment and chips and go from store to store because these storms would come across the southern U.S. They were bad enough to start knocking out network systems. It was just going to progress. So commonly, I would land in Dallas, Fort Worth, or some other place in Texas. Sometimes as far as Austin, and fix all the ones that storms would wipe out down in there. Drive as far as until I caught up, catch a motel room, and work my way back with rental car all the way back to Atlanta, come all the major cities, fixing Wendy's and Crystal, other restaurants, daisy chain networks that would get knocked out every time a good storm system would. So you'd leave on Monday morning thinking, hey, if I have a good day with traffic, I'll leave out at 5 a.m. I might be back by 8 p.m. But no, good thunderstorm comes through. You're on an airplane flight to Texas, and I'll be back on Thursday.
I was training. I would train healthcare providers on computerized healthcare systems, EMRs, electronic medical records, and I would open up new health centers nationwide. So
Yeah.
did that for 13 years and got to visit 48 of the states in the union. It was cool because I still need Alaska and Hawaii, but you know, they're a little harder to get to.
Well, through the course of another job, I think I'd been to, what was it, 46 of the 48 continental United States. I hadn't been to Rhode Island, Maine, and obviously I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii.
I did Rhode Island on a while I was waiting for a flight out of Boston. One day, I'd been working in Massachusetts, and I was like, you know what? I'm close enough to Rhode Island. I'm going to go to Providence. I'm going to sit on a bench. I'm going to have lunch and check the box. That's my rule of thumb. Is if I do something like have a meal, sleep there, visit an attraction, I count it. If that's a layover, it didn't count.
Yeah. Well, every kind of truck driver there is almost over the years in one way or another, but I've done regional and over-the-road truck driving, which would include, I think, 4 Providences in Canada, Mexico, including Nova Scotia. It stands out because of the ferry ride, I guess.
Yes. Wait, did you do the ferry ride to Nova Scotia? Where'd you ride from?
Seems like and this was a real weird time for me because my mother-in-law died on that trip. I think Maine. It was like 4 hours. Is that right?
Yeah, wasn't the Blue Nose out of Bar Harbor?
I don't recall because, like I say, I had major crap going on back home that whole trip.
Was it like a cruise ship sized ferry?
Yeah, it was big, flat top. As like one I was on, I don't remember the color or nothing, but I think it was like 2 levels.
Okay. Yeah.
It was
The one
big.
I
I mean,
rode,
it's like
I
4 hours if I remember right across it.
Yes. I took that ferry in '96 on the last true family vacation before I was of age to say screw you guys, I'm out.
Yeah.
But, we took that ferry, and yeah, it was made had a movie theater in it, a dance hall, a couple restaurants.
All right. Okay.
Jesus.
You said something interesting there. I need to go grab something, but when I get back, I need you to tell me about how you decided and came about. Screw you, I'm out. Because I did that. I pulled that same thing when I realized I'm 18. I can do what I want to do. But I want to hear your story as soon as I get back. I'll be back just a second. Okay.
When, hey, when this guy grows, is he gonna have the eyes then? Because right now he doesn't.
Oh, what, this thing? No,
Herpes.
they don't have any eyes.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all they are is a toasted marshmallow with tendrils.
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, I looked it up today. It doesn't look like herpes. It looks like gonorrhea.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks
Yeah.
for clearing that up.
Sorry, but thanks for clearing that up. Also, would be what you'd say to the doctor.
Yeah, I'll ask the doctor about gonorrhea now.
Well, ODB got burned once, but that was only gonorrhea.
Well, hell, ODB is a wild one. Have you seen him on stage for what was that, the award show?
Oh
Is
gosh, he was a nutcase. Gosh,
he
yeah.
pulled a Kanye, dude? Back when Kanye didn't do that.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, Wu Tang was for the children, and was about the Wu Tang. The 36 Chambers of Death was. It never came out of my CD player the entire year it was released.
See, I'm more of a Raekwon guy. I didn't get into Wu-Tang when I was a kid, but when I was older, I got into Raekwon. I guess he's one of the lesser
Oh,
popular.
Raekwon. Oh, Raekwon's good. I mean, gosh, there were so many, but I tell you, the guy who, Method Man. Method
Yeah,
Man,
he
love
always
him.
got the light. Yeah.
He even it was a recurring character on CSI Miami.
Right.
But oh yeah, I mean those were the days back when I could understand what they were saying because the mumbling hadn't started.
Yeah, see, I listen to rap like Crooked Eye and stuff like that, and that's lyrical, but I won't listen to mumble rap.
It doesn't appeal to me. I actually have gotten mainly into like synthwave these days.
All right, on.
Because I'm a kid of the 80s and I absolutely just love heavy synthesized music. I think that's probably why I gravitated towards EDM in the 90s, is because it was sort of somewhat of a synthesizer heavy kind of thing that
Um,
sort of
yeah,
stuck with me. But I listen to stuff like Gunship and Arcadian.
you ever heard of a game called Deep Rock Galactic?
I have. It was a free game on PS5.
Right, okay, you gotta check that out because the music in that is real synthwave.
Oh, I did not even start playing it because No Man's Sky, but I have it in my library.
Yeah, check it out, dude, because it's totally worth it. Too bad it's not crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox, but yeah.
I absolutely love, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but the built-in game that came with my PS5 called Astro's Playroom.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that is one of the most entertaining games I've played since Mario and Sonic.
Really now? I gotta check that out then.
It was, but it's a PS5 only.
Right. Yeah, I
So,
really gotta get a PS5 for Demon Souls, Bloodborne, and that.
oh, just it's really really nice, but it's also I got an early model, so I'm kind of starting to regret that.
Right. So it might not be available nowadays.
Oh no, it's available. It is absolutely available. It's just
Okay.
it took me 2 months of 12 hours a day watching drop websites get one.
Oh wow, okay.
I finally ended up having to spend 800 to get mine. Uh,
Jeez.
because the only thing I could find was a bundle deal from GameStop. mean, in the end, it was okay. I got 2 controllers, with it and some games, and so that, and that was nice. But the uh, the fact remains, I had to have a disc version,
Right.
and those are really hard to find. Oh, I don't know why. I guess it's like trying to find a manual transmission when in the age of automatics.
Yeah. The there's a couple games that are just not online anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because of licensing.
Yeah,
Like sorry.
what was that? No, I was gonna say, there were it's like in the older days when I would end up getting like there were certain CDs from bands I used to listen to that they would get sued for copyright infringement when they used a sample,
Right.
and you'd have to take it off the shelves and not sell it anymore. And so I remember like searching around and buying online when people were selling those out of circulation copies and stuff. So I know what you're talking about.
Right.
When it goes offline, it's really hard to find.
Yeah, like that happened with Godfather 2, that Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth 2. It's kind of like Command and Conquer, but Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
uh,
RTS.
yeah, it was really good too. Also another game that I would bring up is Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2.
I've seen
You
those.
cannot get them on Xbox anymore. If you have them though, you can play them on Xbox, but you can't just buy them now.
Huh. I wonder why they took that away. Was it a spat between Microsoft and them in the development?
Not sure. It's just licensing thing too, right? Like so you used to be able to plug in most games that weren't available online, and you just be able to play the like Batman Arkham Origins. That's not available online, but if you have the disc, you can play it.
Okay,
It's just so weird. There's stipulations for each game, but most of the cases it's like a licensing thing.
okay, and that makes sense. They probably license them differently for online, as yeah, than they would a disc version. But I'm,
Right.
Well, there's even
you know,
some
I'm
instances, I think there were Xbox games even that small developers in some cases went out of business or got bought by another
Yeah.
property, and so like there are games where the source code has been lost, and games that they can't bring forward because there's just no way for them to edit them because they don't have access to the source code information.
Isn't that the way with 7 Days to Die on Xbox?
I hope not.
I'm
I mean,
fairly
they
certain
they
that's
still
how
take
they
updates in
develop.
other places, right?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's active on PC at least because the Xbox version was taken up by a guy. Maybe it was same around the same time Telltale Games fell out too, right? Around that time.
okay. They're
But
gone now. That sucks.
well,
Telltale put out some
they went
good.
bankrupt. Yeah.
It did a lot of those storyline based
Right.
games that were less about action stuff and more about just picking dialogue
Yeah.
choices.
Like I really like the Walking Dead games they made.
The first game I ever, and I'm going back to what Saul was asking earlier. The first game that I ever glitched or exploited was Halo. First Halo on the original Xbox.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Yep.
Uh, there was one of my favorite things to do was to, oh my gosh, I found places on some of those multiplayer maps that see on Halo 1 you couldn't play it on Xbox Live, but you could play it on GameSpy. .com had a VPN tunnel service that you could create a VLAN and play against people online. It was pre Xbox Live, so it was the only thing we had. But in those days, some of those original Xbox multiplayer maps, there were some really fun things you could do. Like I remember a way to crash a ghost into a rock wall, and it would fling you up off the map, and you could walk up into the stars and snipe.
Huh.
And on the control room, assault on the control room, I believe, level on Halo 1 was the one that was all the bridges and the snow and the canyons. That was awesome as well because, yes, that is all pixel. Yes.
Have you guys ever heard of X-Link Kai? This is more for Soul.
No, I haven't heard of it. What's it called?
X-Link Kai. It's a service that allows you to play online with games that have the system link function for old Xbox original games.
Oh, so you could do that with Halo 1.
Yeah, Halo, Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront. Yeah,
I wonder if the original Splinter Cell, because I don't think they ever
Yep.
did they ever bring it forward. Its multiplayer hasn't worked in years and years.
I'm fairly certain there's like a list for X-Link Kai because there's some games that it doesn't work on, but like the ones I just labeled off, they most definitely do because I played them.
That's
Um,
cool.
you just gotta route ports around on your router. So you guys sound grown up and all that, so you have access to your routers and blah blah blah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
But you gotta like do some stuff with porting in order to have access to it. Yeah.
I went through a whole phase of what was it, jailbreaking or whatever you want to call it, modding my routers. Went through that whole thing.
Well, it'd probably be native to you then.
Yeah, it was fun. You could take a cheap Netgear router, whatever you had, about as cheap as you could find, and run down um, firmware to reflash it that would unlock it and give it like $300 and $500 router functionality.
Oh shit.
You can boost and pull back your antenna strengths, burn up a router. I mean, you can destroy a router in there, but you could push
so
it
it's like
beyond what they were
overclocking it.
supposed to do.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Okay, so what can you do with a router that you bought with like $600? Because I have like an Archer router that's like $600.
The last time I tinkered with any of that, going to be circa 20 years ago.
Okay.
Because this, well, no, that's an exaggeration. At least 15. Because it would have been 12 years ago when 2008, however many years it is, 2008, when I couldn't sit at a computer desk anymore. Which is a shame because I actually did it while building that $5,000 water cooled monster. So
Right.
I actually got to game or use it very little because of it. So all my router stuff. So like, there's no telling the versions ever Wi-Fi. By some accounts, is faster connection.
I want that one, man. Just pretty happy now that they've gotten to the point where the data transfer, they've gotten their packet sizes so optimized now for online play that, I mean, even if you're just running just a standard broadband, not even a super broadband or Xfinity, whatever else, you can still play online without any noticeable lagging.
Yeah, I forget how they're referring to it. I don't think it's Web 6.
IPv.
IPv6. There's also 802.11 like Z now or something.
I know I'm IPv6, but it used to be IPv4 on Xbox.
6 is important if you're doing VR or cloud streaming games or whatever.
Right.
Because the IPv6 has the currently the lowest lag and latency. and
So that's
that's going to be
pretty cool.
between the device and your router, and between the router and internet, presumably. So like what I have here is have a main network that all of my high priority devices attach to, either wired or through IPv6 connections is ability. Then I have a subnetwork that is a Wi-Fi mesh series of devices that broadcast Wi-Fi across my property. And then I have a guest network because I don't ever want anybody snooping around on my side of things. And rather
Right.
than to give people my password when they want to get on the Wi-Fi, I just have a guest network that.
Yep. Yeah. I do the same thing. Like my router allows me to have like multiple Wi-Fi and wired connections, so I have like a guest network set up and shit.
If I
But
had more friends, I'd really do that.
if you get into some things like, particularly if you're trying to share an internet connection at one location or location, you're trying to bridge internet connections, like say here, we have gigabit internet, but in 25 meg up.
Huh.
And so I know people that played with varying degrees of success, I might add, having two, say, DSL services and bridging them together so that they can achieve 2 gigs down and roughly.
So what do? Get what? They get like a Uverse and a Spectrum, like cable and DSL kind of bridge together or something, or they just do two from the same vendor?
I'm not that familiar with it. I've been close enough that I've heard people that have talked about their experiences with it, because out here, if you want to go above 1080p 60, there's only one provider.
Um,
So we are under a monopoly here, in that we're so much in the country that one company owns all the equipment and nobody else can, unless you were to go to like Starlink.
Oh yeah.
so like I clock in at I'm kind of outside my city, and I clock in at a gigabyte download and 30 megabytes upload. So I guess that's pretty all right.
Oh yeah, that's very nice. That's better than me. Sure.
Well, our people are promising um, gig up and down linked service within about a year's time once they run fiber.
Damn, okay.
Won't that be nice? Gosh, I'll be happy when they get fiber out to where I'm at, and I'm literally off of a major U.S. highway.
See, that's
Don't have.
me. See, I'm off of U.S. Highway 441, which isn't that far off
Yep.
of Interstate 85. There's going to be major trunk lines running up Interstate 5, and so by virtue of the fact that to get to the home of the Bulldogs in Georgia, you've got to go from 5 um, Athens on 441. There's pretty good, decent connections, pretty sure, that are running up the highway out here, which is why our system is fiber backed. So my substation is fiber from there on, all the way
Just
up to the main trunk line. Just from the station to home is still currently DSL. So
oh, you do Uverse?
no, we're Windstream out here.
Oh, Windstream. Okay. Windstream actually sent me to Charlotte Motor Speedway with my father-in-law in a VIP suite,
Hmm.
mainly because he was the one who chose the telecommunications service for a public utility, but still, it was the Windstream suite. Still off
Nice.
85 myself, though. I mean, I'm get to 85 takes me 1 minute and 45 seconds.
I could be there in a minute. Well, hang on, minute 45. I'm exactly 1 mile.
Okay.
Speed limit's
I'm
35 mile
only
an hour. I can run at most of it 80, 85 ish if I. So less than a minute. I could be 441 in less than a minute.
Oh, okay. Say, yeah, I see. And I'm off of US Highway 74, which runs, well, it runs the width of North Carolina from Wilmington to all the way out in the mountains. But the definite thing is that I would feel like where I'm at should have had fiber before anywhere else other than, like Charlotte. But we just don't got it. And it's unhappy. I'm currently sitting here with a summoner sentinel
Hmm?
stuck in the same position, just staring at me through my cockpit. I mean, and it's got his head cocked sideways too, so it's kind of like it's giving me just like a puzzled dog look.
So have you guys heard the new method for forming nanites off sentinels?
Hmm? You tell.
So I heard this guy talking about it. He says, go down to planet, find a sentinel, shoot it. Immediately, it's going to call in, varying types of the flying ones, level 1 response. Said you need to identify the triangular one and
One
and
sitting in
kind of
front of me.
segregate it and don't shoot it. Because
Oh
that
yeah,
one
so it
that
keeps
one
summoning.
summons in new ones. And so you kill all the other ones and it'll immediately call in new ones and it won't advance the wave.
Oh,
And so
because
you
it's still
stay
the same
level
way.
1 response by not killing the triangle one. And the
Easy
ones that
kills.
calls in after you wipe them out that first wave are all the ones that drop the salvage glass barrels, which can all be turned into technology modules, which can all be sold for nanite.
Ah, see, that was the link I was missing right there because I just take those salvage glass and if I get an upgrade, I'm just applying them.
Well, I applied mine until I got to the point to where they all seemed to not be any better than the ones I already had. Because I don't know how many different ones they are. There's a lot of different ones, but I kind of got the ones I ended up sticking with. And so, but I would just fight and fight. I'd kill all of them, but it would increase the waves. So eventually, you got the walkers, you
Oh yeah.
got the canines. But if you identify the triangle one, as soon as you shoot all the other ones, it immediately spawns in more, keeps it on the easy response. It doesn't escalate up. You can farm those barrels and then sell those upgrade modules for nanites. That's the loop. And I had been doing all that for a long time now, but I was using my Minotaur kill them with
Mm-hmm.
because I was getting in big fights with other walkers and things, whatever you want to call them. So the missing part for me was not killing the little triangle dude that calls in. He'll get a Wi-Fi signal over his head when he calls in the next wave. That's the guy. Don't
Yeah.
kill him and just slaughter everybody else.
Yeah. That's the one who's currently looking at me with a puzzled look on its robot face. The thing that did you know that the salvage glass upgrades for weapons only work on boltcaster?
Huh.
The
So,
weapon upgrades that you get for from salvage glass only apply to boltcaster.
well, we had some discussion about this yesterday. I think it was maybe Sneerman that was in here. I can't recall exactly. But I was showing him how that I allow my Sentinel upgrades on my multi-tool not only to touch each other, but to also touch my boltcaster because I've been led to believe that it would have identifiers to that and maybe other weapons as well. So I always try to keep the Sentinel upgrades touching each other and touching, because I primarily use boltcaster, that and plasma launcher, but touching my other upgrade modules because I think there's additional sneak bonus back there on that.
My Yeah, there is a big bonus on it. My boltcaster is just a monster. I've got
Yeah.
I've got 3 S class upgrades on it, 3 Sentinel upgrades on it, plus the ionizer and the ricochet module.
I like using the pulse spitter. That's just me. Pulse spitter and geology cannon. Kind of that person.
It says my damage potential right now is 7,248, which ain't bad.
Um, I'll also use the paralysis mortar on bigger enemies to get the stun damage through the voltaic amplifier.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, that's useful.
All right, I'm going to deal with this wave because there's the creature I've been searching for. What is Electro Ball? All right.
There was
Hey,
something else we was
Sentinel.
talking about yesterday too. Somebody was mentioning a multi-tool red. I think he had found one he was happy with, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody else in game at least play with as I think they're called the Royal multi tools.
Oh, yeah.
I have one.
I got
Ain't
2
all.
of them. They're identical, and I'm pretty positive I got them a week apart in different places.
Well, yeah, a lot of people just don't sod out for them, I guess. They're not amazing stat wise.
They are identical in all stats. They are identical to an experimental multi-tool.
And what's an experimental multi tool?
Experimental multi-tools are hang on. Picture of one would say 1,000 words. So let me pop over here in Soul
They're not
server
the
and
alien ones, right?
no, not the alien ones. I'm going to throw it up in Soul's general chat here in a second. Let me just do.
So it doesn't have better damage potential than an alien one, does it?
No, aliens are still the best for damage.
Okay, because that's what I use for everything. I use an alien one for scanning and everything just because it's an all arounder.
This is an experimental. I just threw it up in general chat.
Okay. Right. I've seen these. Okay.
These are the best at scanning. They give you the best bonuses for scanning out there.
Okay.
If you're scanning, use an experimental. If you're fighting,
Wisebot.
use an
Said.
alien.
Wisebot.
Right. See, I just
Said.
don't switch between.
If you're mining, use a pistol.
Like, I think I have an alien pistol.
Those are cool. I actually went out. There was a big thing a couple months ago. There was some people harassing one of the online folks. I can't remember who he was, but anyway, they were going into a place where he had cataloged any multi tools he finds, and they were building bases around them and locking people out.
Oh, fuck, eh?
And I mean, I know you can report base, but it's still just that.
Well, you can report a base if you can get to the computer.
Well, you can press down and interact and report it through the menu there. You don't have to interact with the computer.
Yeah, you can. Oh, great. Threw everything out.
Well,
But
there
you
was
can.
one of the missions in I think Expedition 7. Someone had built a structure over. By the time I got to it, it almost made it impossible to get to the whatever it was. It seemed like it might have been some kind.
Yeah,
I would have
so
reported
I
that
went,
one if I could have figured out how.
I think some people were trying to say, if enough people report a base, maybe Hello Games will take a notice and do something about it. I did that, and while I was there, I picked up the alien multi tool that was there, and my God, is it great! It is just an absolutely gorgeous multi tool. It's black and red, which fades to a fiery orange, and it's got a crystal poking out the tip of the rifle.
Here, I guess I'll share mine, but it's nothing special. I gotta
So,
share it to Twitter and then save it.
so how are you guys reporting these? If you can't get to the base computer, you just down on the D-pad somewhere.
It's the
Yeah.
yeah, it's the quick menu and it's to the right.
All the way past photo.
Is it the
But you
igloo
gotta be
looking
on
thing
the-
that pops up there sometimes?
It's to the right-hand side
Yeah.
of photo mode when you're on somebody's base, and I actually ended up accidentally reporting a base because I was trying to get into photo mode, and it was
That
on that
face.
0G planet.
Damn.
All right, I just put up my one I was
Right.
talking about, Harold.
I have one of those like as an old tool, but I don't use them anymore. That's an experimental one or an alien one? That's an alien, right?
That's an alien one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See here. Now I have a pistol with horns on it, and the only distinction of it being alien is having horns for me.
So that wouldn't qualify as an alien.
Really? Okay.
Aliens are only the ones that look like they have veins in the handle, in the grip.
Here, let me show, because Harham brought me to this one. He said that this one's really good. Whatever. Okay, save that.
See, my only alien tool right now is an A-class pistol.
Did you get that from the one from the drops?
I think probably. Yeah, I think this is gonna be from the last set of drops. I had some tools that I wasn't too happy about, and I've been slowly trying to get rid of the ones that I was never going to use for, better ones out of the drops and stuff.
So yeah, you're saying that I could do a lot more with the scanner capability and damage capability with my other alien one
Wisebot.
that I have.
You
Said.
could do a heck of a lot better.
Yeah,
the pistol is great for mining. That's what the pistols are best for. They are
Here.
mining powerhouses.
Let me
So what about
yeah.
what about these ones then, Parrot? What are these ones? Anything? Hang on, get it off the. I think these are just the
Here.
Royals.
This is my alien one then.
But I have
Yeah,
I
no,
have
for
two
sure.
of these because my exotic guppy was blue,
Right.
and I happened up on one and it matched my guppy perfectly. I'm like, well, hell, it matches my ship, so I got it. Started using it because it was the best one I had at the time. And then I, like a week later, happened up on a second one, same color, everything. I'm pretty sure it was a different place. But one of them I used for mining, and the other one I used for defense.
The one that I just put up in your channel there is the experimental I've had since my 5th hour in the game.
Okay. See, so that's my alien one.
Oh, nice one, nice one. Yeah, very, very similar. Just as the is just no crystal sticking out of the end.
Right.
That's a pretty one. That's a real pretty one. Yeah.
So you're saying, yeah, this one's obviously a lot better. Okay.
Oh yeah. But for scanning, go with an experimental or an exotic. If you're looking for your best scanning bonuses and range that are naturally inherent in it.
Right.
I
I
also
wish we-
learned something else
What?
related to upgrading and things. It is better to find a C-class ship and upgrade it to S than it is to find it as a natural S.
So is it
Yeah, but
possible
that's
that,
a lot of nanites, man. That's a
Is
lot
it-
of nanites.
Is it possible that the Radiant Pillar could be better as an S class than some other ships then?
The Radiant, there's nothing wrong with the Radiant Pillar, but it's pretty much a stat lock because it's it's the starter ship, so everybody knows what it's going to be, and when you get it, it's a C class. But and you can't find a Radiant Pillar naturally because it's not out there. Now you can find clones,
Right, but if you spawn with it, you can upgrade it.
right?
Right, and also you can have someone save edit one in.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's true as well.
I have mine save edited in. That's why it's green and purple, right?
Okay.
um,
Okay.
mine almost has 2,000 hyperdrive range, but I get what you're saying, right? Like I could get a lot more with like a explorer or a better fighter.
Now let me tell you this: if you look at my experimental, the Vardo's neutron capacitor, if you look at the layout of the mining scheme, the way that I have it in there, that is the most optimum layout for your mining beam is that cross pattern.
Okay.
Daharin, this is a Daharin thing, so it's been tested. Oh, yeah, you don't do any drilling hardly at all with this, do you? With your main multi-tool there.
Yeah, I'd have to move stuff around.
That's why I have two tools, one for scanning, one for...
Oh, yeah, I have the plasma launcher in here. I'll just take the plasma launcher out.
Plus, the optical drill attachment doesn't affect just your mining. The way you lay it out in your multi-tool also affects your harvest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You have
I've
your-
heard that there are harvest bonuses with some of that. I haven't actually just looked at it.
Yeah, I can pull down, like, if I mine a tree or something, whereas somebody over here might be getting 60 carbon from it. I'll get, like, 77.
Okay, so optical drill.
Yeah, those, Daharin has actually created guides and charts for the most optimal layouts for all your tech when you goes to starships, as well as multi-tools. Oh, excuse me, fellas. It is PRB.
Alrighty.
Be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
What was he saying? The advanced mining drill enhanced what else? The resources, how much you get, but is it what if it's
The harvest. The
but
harvest
is it gotta be
yields.
touching the scanners or something or what? Or did he say?
I'm pretty sure it's just a mining beam. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, that's no trouble. I'm just thinking some of these other modules, fuel efficient. Well, here's an optical drill S class that gives 50% more resource than mine. Means, yeah, got rid of different one. Stack up on those. Sure, they'd stack 50 plus 50 plus 50 and knows how high they go.
Right.
Interesting. I noticed that there's upgrades that affect how many nanites you guess for scanning plants, fauna, and flora.
See, I like getting the best damage I can get, so I don't worry too much about like scan, but I also prioritize scan if I can.
Well, that's why I have a scanning tool, scanning and mining tool, and then I have a defense tool with, basic scanner and brain manipulator on it because, you never know when you might want to dig a hole and hide from something.
Right.
Um,
See, I never change my multi-tool. I have a bad habit of sticking with one tool.
well, if you're running around, with a motor tool that's set up for scanner and it's just got a very basic bolt caster on it in case, you run up against something little, um, It doesn't take running into something very big for long before you'll remember to switch over to your fighting.
Right.
Because I used to stick on the one tool a lot too. And for me, it depends on what I'm doing. I mean, I have days where I don't hardly use the tool except for just looking for upgrade modules. All right, I need to go and.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I see this build for the optical drill. Cool. And you said it affects the harvest, so like if you're harvesting gamma root or something like that, it affects that.
Yes. So it will give you a lot more frost crystals and all that other stuff whenever you're, harvesting your planters. It also affects harvesting in the wild as well.
Okay, that's awesome. So like jade peas, hexaberries. Okay, great. And are you saying it lines up with the boltcaster? Like it has adjacency with boltcaster? Or no,
Oh no. That was just the way
that's
I
just
made
there.
mine. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, mine's just put in one spot so I could get that pattern in there where it gets the most synergy.
Okay, but I'll do it like that then. Okay.
Well, what I would tell you to do, try it your way, the way you had it laid out, then try that layout, see what kind of boost you get, and you can basically figure out the percentage increase you got.
Right. Now, in order to get this voltaic amplifier installed, I gotta look for the basalt I had stored away. So I'm gonna hold off on that, but I'll show you what I have here now. Uh,
Oh, that's so sidetracked. I don't even know which moon I'm going to. Been there. I've been there.
Wisebot
No.
said,
Oh, airless planet. Sure, let's just go there. Is that the last one I need? No, not by any means. I still need to go back to Iraq. Okay. You're called Iraq, or Iraku, but it's Iraq.
right.
I found a system once called Damn It.
Sounds like the Blink 182 song.
Yeah, it was DAMMIT is the name of the system. It was in Galaxy 256. And I found a planet called New York.
Oh, that's nice.
And I found a planet called New Yorkie.
Okay, is that the moon?
Yeah, okay. There we go. I have found, let's see.
Okay, I put the optical drill in and stuff. I think that's good now.
Yeah, you've got a good. Gosh, I'm really just marveling at the colors on that. That's a nice color striation there.
You had to burst that one out, eh?
I'm telling you, I've been on an unintentional hiatus from my normal intake. And
You've been on a smoking ban?
not really a ban, just my
Break.
dad hadn't called me back in a week.
Smoking pause.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I asked my dude for some a week ago, and
An interruption.
yes, an unscheduled interruption to my mental service.
Is
Well-
it legal where you are?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So
Well,
So I tell you what, I want to have a moment of solidarity with you for your pain. I'm going to have a bowl and think of your plight I bought a new torch and banger for my water pipe yesterday, and it's smoking most excellent these
Yeah.
days. So, in honor of your situation, I will burn a bowl for you.
All right, just exhale to the north.
I will. I
I
will. How many hours are you from Bulldog Nation down there?
Well, it takes me right at 3 hours, sometimes just a little bit under, to get from here to Atlanta.
Okay. Do you
I'm
come in through Augusta or further north?
no, I mean, if I'm coming down there, I'm coming straight down 85 because I live off
So
85.
you're
Have my whole
coming
life.
down. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I'm about. It depends on how fast you're going.
75 if it's 70. I don't really push the limits anymore. I just park it and cruise.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's just put it this way: where my road intersects 85 is, if memory serves, around the 149-mile marker.
Okay, so that's only 27 miles from South Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. I can be in South Carolina pretty quick once I get to the interstate.
I know 177 is the first exit in Georgia once you cross Lake Hartwell. Driven that way too many times. Yes! Megafauna! Woo! He's a V8. He's got 8 cylinders or 8 pistons on his back.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, and this one's carrying 3 umbrellas. And they're on a fungal planet, a fungal glitch planet.
Interesting.
So that means this is one of those rare cases where you're not going to find the exotic creature because it's been usurped by the megafauna.
They have rendered them extinct.
Well, if I stay here long enough, I might find an extinct creature, but
And save it.
well, if it was something besides a bloody balloon, I'd love to find something besides an anal
Yeah.
leak bloody balloon.
Yeah. I hate to be the one to have said it that last earlier. I'm glad you said it too.
Oh no, it's what it looks like. It does. Actually, it looks worse than that because it looks like, it's bleeding out of its rectum, which is worse.
Right.